We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Friday. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always, and we're with you for the next three hours, getting you to the weekend. And a big show today, a lot to talk about. Grizzlies in action tonight against the Atlanta Hawks, but everyone is excited for the big game tomorrow morning on CBS. Memphis versus FAU. We'll talk a lot about that throughout the next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I am great. T-minus 20 hours until the big one. It's been a fun week, especially after Sunday's result. Really enjoyed that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yesterday, kind of the slower turn to the weekend. We know the stakes, and now today, the fast turn into the weekend. And down at Boca against FAU in that bandbox that's very cozy.
Yeah, very cozy, very small, and I mentioned it yesterday. I brought it up a couple of times. Their students are going to get after it. I know last week when they were hosting Tulane, they they made a note about it on the ESPN broadcast that they had been out tailgating since like 7 a.m. and the tailgates, they showed video of the tailgates looked like football tailgates. So it's tough in Boca, not much to do, and so you got to get out there early and tailgate. Weather just terrible down there. People wearing basketball jerseys, sleeveless shirts, shorts, look tough down there. But that being said, with how small that gym is, with how much buildup is around this game, I'm sure it's going to be a very loud, very good environment for that game.
The main streets of Boca, it. Tomorrow, the CBS announced crew, Andrew Catalan, play-by-play, Steve Lapis, the former coach at Villanova. Yeah. The analyst, I don't know if there's a sideline reporter. It's not listed in the game notes. And get ready for this, and I do not suggest this to anyone, not even seasoned veterans that have their PGA Tour cards. Don't try a drinking game with the announcer saying a team should be in the tournament.
No, good Lord.
Because it's straight to the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
It's renal kidney failure, it's liver malfunction. I mean, you could get to the hospital and they'd think you'd been drinking embalming fluid. Sure.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, you.
Because every analyst. It's like I'm not kidding you. 120 team tournament right now.
Oh yeah.
To a lot of the analysts.
Easily.
And I like and I'm gonna do the same today on some teams.
All right, I love it.
But I like how it kind of indignant they get. Sure. You mean you're telling me that Kutztown State's not the tournament? If you watched them play, what do you know about basketball?
Well, I mean, it's just everybody belongs, and that's how it is on a lot of these broadcasts. But I find myself falling in love with a lot of these teams, going, man, I hope they can find a way to get into the tournament. It's just been a really fun season.
You mean Pacific doesn't Well, I don't think anybody's advocating for Pacific. Poor Pacific, and the really ugly story out there about Temple.
Well, and Brett, we were talking about that when Memphis played Temple and the big jump
we did.
With the line, and we were trying to figure out, is there an injury or something? Something had to happen. We couldn't find anything. We kind of wrote it off.
It was the double yo reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just kind of wrote it off as, whatever. Weird things happen sometimes. But last night, something similar happening with their game against UAB. In the morning, it was about 2.5. Later in the day,
weird.
It was like 7.5. They end up UAB ends up winning by 20.5, and now it's being investigated by a lot of people on if something shady was happening behind the scenes.
I'm not going to call any names or any teams or even any areas. I'm not talking about anybody here. I'm not talking about Memphis. Let me get that out there straight. There have been some games I've watched this year that I thought, it's some funky kicks going down in the city, to paraphrase Steve Miller.
Weird things happening. Yes, you've mentioned that a couple of times about different teams around the country.
I have. And there's a couple of times I just thought, no, that's just too weird. And first of all, really, really, really easy to say, terribly difficult to prove.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think we would be beyond naive with this wave of nationwide legal gambling. For anybody 21 or older, you can throw a rock and find a place to wager now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're not digging around trying to find the local guy anymore. I mean, it's all out there, legal. We advertise it for it. We're going to advertise for it.
Yeah.
And we're going to always say, if you don't think you can handle it, run from it like it's a rattlesnake.
Absolutely.
On anything, whether it's food or booze or gambling or legal weed, whatever it is, if you don't think you can handle it, you better run from it.
Yeah.
And I think you're just really naive if you don't think human nature, human beings takes over. Now, I think you're terribly paranoid if you think it's pervasive.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And also, something I've seen a lot of people pointing out is, it's very accessible out there, but also how cozy these sports books and these leagues are getting. I mean, you see NBA, you see the NFL. I mean, you've got commercials with NBA players, and make sure you go and get on this app to gamble on this game and stuff like that. I mean, LeBron James just signed a contract with a sports book that during the NFL season next year, he's going to be giving out weekly sponsored plays for NFL games. I mean, it's just very different and very close with these sports books and these professional leagues.
And we turn the news on nightly, and we see that people have wrecked their lives, wrecked their careers over, by and large, peanuts over the money involved. Whether it's whatever it is, you just go, man, you just wrecked your whole life over X. There's not 10 trillion's not enough to spend one day at Brushy Mountain State Prison.
No, not at all. And it's just it's one of those things, and it's terrible, and it happens, and but I think you're right. There's probably some shady things going on at places.
Did you know about the integrity unit that schools are members of and pay a fee, and that people can call?
Had no idea. No,
I didn't either until today, reading the body of that story.
Yeah.
And I know, but I don't want to get too far. We stick to sports, but it's what I'm scared about red flag laws. You know what I'm talking about when I mention that?
Yeah.
I think most people listening understand that. I think we do need something for the neighbor showing erratic behavior but I don't want a society of tattletales.
Right.
So here's what I'm scared of for that integrity line in college sports. You can call red on the other team.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard them talking, and I think they let me drive to the bucket unfettered for a reason.
Yeah, I heard Florida Atlantic. They're doing some shady things over there.
Might need to keep an eye on them.
So then game against Memphis tomorrow.
So then they show up there. It gets leaked that they're under investigation by the integrity unit.
Yeah.
All that I just think we got to be really careful of, but that's the Pandora's box that we open, and it is flying wide open now with this. But again, I think most people, good judgment prevails.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think so. But this Temple story is strange. It's very weird. I'm curious to see where it goes, because before any of this came out, I was on Twitter yesterday, and a guy, I don't know if I follow him or if I just see a lot of his stuff, but he's a college basketball guy and gambles on a lot of college basketball games, and he tweeted something out and was like, I don't know if there's an injury or something going on at Temple, but in the last 2 hours, this line has moved from 3 to 7.5, and I don't know what's going on, but this is extremely rare. You never see this late in the season, so just something to keep an eye on. And then last night, I see the Sports Illustrated story about how something actually might be going on behind the scenes. And
Brian, I'm not saying that we're super knowledgeable and super sophisticated about it, but we watch all this pretty closely.
Sure.
And like that day, we know 3 in the afternoon, 3 at 3 o'clock, it comes pick time and it's 8. And I think that's about the numbers it was that day. We go, whoa, double yo. And come Sunday, whatever the line is established when they put it out Saturday night for Sunday's Temple, Texas San Antonio game, the whole world's watching.
Oh, absolutely.
And UAB got there easily. They would have gotten there no matter what it was.
Yeah, it was like 20-plus point win. So very easy for them. And you weren't worried if you had 2.5 or if you had 7.5. But you're definitely right for that Sunday game.
And this isn't fair. It's not fair to college basketball. But it kind of has always been the one that people have watched because we've had major. We had one here with the Tigers in the late 50s, early 60s. We had rumor of it in the 80s.
Right.
You had Arizona State's big incident. You had rumor of it with Tulane. You had Boston College that was very infamous. You had it in New York City with teams like NYU and CCNY and teams like that at one time. It's been there for a lot. Kentucky had Cliff Hagan later was their AD, was on the cover of Look magazine, kind of telling on all the people involved. So it's been around college basketball, I think, more than any other sport. Much more than college football and NFL and NBA. Except for Donahue, I don't remember an NBA scandal. I don't.
No. But that one is pretty big one.
That was a big one.
That one blocks out the sun.
It really did. But so, these games, and I've always talked about these games, and in the old days, the old book would call them write-in games of teams that played yesterday, and then they establish who they're playing today and how good Vegas is at setting that number on these games on the fly.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. And there's a reason why they're always building something new in Vegas, and they've got it down out there. But, you're absolutely right.
Free lobster for a reason.
For a reason. But these quick turn, heck, we're seeing, teams that played last night, their game ends at, midnight, and their game's starting at 3 o'clock today, and they've, got a line out.
They don't miss it plus or minus 3 points.
No, not at all. It's crazy.
It really is.
But
and now, always we're the best and the brightest. And now you throw in AI.
That's right.
And you throw in a computer room that would rival Langley at the CIA.
Oh, man. What took you hours, 10 years ago, it's just like that now.
Because they don't want to lose.
No. And why would they? And they usually don't.
The lobster really ain't free.
No, it's not. But hey,
nor is the complimentary golf.
But when you're winning like they do, it
hey, you want free. 2 tickets to go see Britney Spears? They ain't free either.
No, they're not. But they've done a really, really good job at it.
But a big win tomorrow morning for the Tigers. I'm really excited. Brian, I can make the case, and I can do it legitimately, that even with a loss tomorrow, the at-large, while very damaged, is not over.
Really?
But for this reason, I talk about 68. Well, it's really not 68. It's really 36 because there's 32 AQs, right?
Yep.
There's 36 at larges.
Right.
That's a lot of at larges.
It is.
And they're going to have it completed. They're going to fill all 36. There's going to be 68 on the bracket. And I say this, and this is going to hit to the quick for some Tiger fans, and I don't mean for it to. It just shows even with this, you're still alive, certainly with a win. No doubt. Everybody's very optimistic with a win. But there are a lot of teams that you can lose at home to Rice and still be in a mix.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the Tigers very much are.
Yeah.
They need, like last night, Utah scratched up. They need Utah to lose again this weekend, and it probably in the first round of the PAC tournament. Same for Iowa. Lose this weekend, lose first round of the Big 12. It's a lot of double losses the Tigers need if they lose tomorrow.
Sure.
If they win tomorrow, they just kind of need those teams with one loss along the way, and the Tigers at least get to Sunday.
Yeah. No,
Tigers get Sunday, they're winning that tournament.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I think you win.
In
tomorrow.
fact, regardless of tomorrow's result, Bryant, I can tell you next week when we do the AAC bracket, I'm picking Memphis to win that automatic.
Wow, you and Joe Lenardi. I mean, those are the two pretty good stamps of
approval. Unless there's catastrophic injury tomorrow.
Right, absolutely. I think you're looking really good if you win. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of ifs if they lose tomorrow.
They're better than the rest of this league.
Oh, absolutely. The talent's there.
This league is not good.
It's just putting it together and trying to win those games. But now you think about it, with a loss tomorrow, you're likely not a top 4 seed, so then you'd have to play the 4 games in 4 days. I think they're good enough to do that, but it'll be interesting to just see how that plays out for them.
Which that 4 games in 4 days will not be as tough as the 3 in the Bahamas.
It's true. It's very true. So I mean, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I think the road is a lot easier if you win tomorrow. Put yourself in that top 4. Get those 2 buys, so then you can just win 3 games and you got the automatic. Or like you said, I do think there's a good argument they're in good position if they win tomorrow and then get to the championship game to get an at-large, regardless of how that championship game goes.
Tell me why Texas A&M is so beloved. I do not get it.
No,
they have a loss to FAU.
Yeah. No, I mean
the Tigers beat FAU.
Yeah.
They have a loss to UVA. The Tigers beat UVA. They have a loss to Memphis.
Yeah. I mean,
Memphis is Memphis.
There's a lot of teams, Brett, that are on that bubble that I could make an argument about of why are they so loved by anything, by the committee, by the Brett colleges, by the net.
And don't tell me net. We saw them play these games.
Absolutely.
Playing matters.
Well, and that's the thing about net is, I mean, there's a lot of teams I could go through of why are they so high in the net? Why are they this? Why are they that? Alabama being one of them. There's a lot that you could go through, and so it's going to be a really fun weekend. I know that Memphis FAU game that we'll spend a lot of time today talking about is on everybody's mind, but also some really, really good games on the slate tomorrow and then Sunday. A lot of conference championships, conference semifinals as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. Let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Alan Bell from At the AB3 and Driving the Line. He'll join us, talk some wagering. We'll get into a lot of this basketball action, the big weekend, some of these conference tournaments going on, and a lot to get to with Alan Bell. 3:45, we'll get back into this conversation about the Tigers and FAU. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. He'll join us. We'll talk some more wagering with him. A lot of college basketball as well with him. 4:30, Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas. He'll join us, talk the Razorbacks and the SEC as we get ready for the SEC tournament in Nashville. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal. He's a Tiger basketball beat writer. He'll join us, talk Tigers. As always, he's presented by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure has the factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture going on right now. It's patio season. Get by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Also save $1,000 to $5,000 on all swim spas and spas. Also, special financing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. So head out to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sports Time. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Our producer is Johnny Hill, and we will be with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to join us at 901-360-8255. That's the phone line. That's the text line. That's the line that all the guests will appear on. And that's sponsored by our friends at Sissy's Log Cabin. We thank them so much. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com, the one and only Lexus dealership in town with great offers on all those 2024 models. and special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the Tigers down in Boca. They're already there, traveled last night. They've had shoot-around practice today as they get ready for tomorrow morning's big game. 11 a.m. on CBS. They already beat Florida Atlantic once this year. It was last week at home against the Owls, but can they do it again? And we remember that game, just the fight they had, the intensity they had. I thought, I came in that Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, I could not stop talking about what Nicholas Jourdain brought to the table in that game. Yeah, he only had 3 points. He did not shoot the ball well, but when it comes to this team, I think they have plenty of guys that can shoot. I think Quinterly is going to give you something. David Jones obviously is going to give you a lot, but you need somebody that's going to do the dirty work, someone that's going to bring that intensity when it comes to offensive rebounds, diving on the floor for loose balls, blocking shots, and Nicholas Jourdain brought that. You also add what you got from Naquan Tomlin, his energy that he brings to this team. I think you've got to have those guys come up big, and especially without maybe the lack of the true center you have against the really good center for FAU. You've got to have those guys bringing energy, playing with intensity. I think those two guys are the key to tomorrow's game, but we'll see how do the Tigers respond to being on the road. We saw their last time they were on the road against East Carolina. Looked pretty good. I mean, really, that game was never in doubt. But then we remember what happened in Texas. Those two Texas games, North Texas and SMU, it really feels like they needed that game against SMU where they got flat out embarrassed. And now they've played much better since then. Do we see the team that really, looked great against FAU last week, or do we see the team that has struggled at times on the road this year? It's a big one tomorrow. I think it's really big no matter which way you slice it. I know a lot of people are saying you win and you feel good about it at large, but I think the most important thing, you win and you feel really good about getting either that 3 or 4 seed for the conference tournament. You definitely want that double bye, so you only have to play 3 games. It's a big one tomorrow morning.
It's gigantic tomorrow morning, and the Tigers totally control that game at FedEx Forum. My top story right there. In one corner, FAU. Heck, the ring is at FAU. Last year, a Final Four team. They defeated Memphis to start that run. This year, 23-7, 33 in the net. Some great wins. A loss to Memphis in that only meeting that Bryant mentioned. They win, and they probably will be easily in the tournament. In the other corner, the men in blue. Up, down, currently up. Need any kind of a win and a few more next week, and I think they'll be fine. Maybe even a scenario where they lost tomorrow, and it would be okay. Heavyweight match tomorrow morning, 11 bells, mañana.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story, it's got to stick with college basketball. It's the weekend that is about to be upon us. There's a lot of action today with conference tournaments, mostly conference tournament games today throughout the day and into the night. But tomorrow we will start to get a ton of clarity of what these conference tournaments will look like around the country. In the SEC, a lot of spots still up for grab for positioning. So we'll get more clarity tomorrow night on what that bracket will look like. Same with the Big East. Same with the Big 12. A lot of these conferences.
Big old jigsaw puzzle,
man,
isn't it?
It's beautiful. And when you try to put it together, you can go this way or you can go that way. I mean, it's so many different ways to look at it. But we'll have a lot of clarity. I mentioned yesterday we were talking, Brett, and I said I think the top 3 conferences for me in terms of how competitive they've been, how close they've been, has got to be the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big East. That's not in the order I had them in, but those are the 3. And for those, a lot of clarity I think we'll get tomorrow night when a lot of these games are over. And then we'll be looking forward to those conference tournaments, which I think all 3 of them are going to be outstanding.
They will be. My not top story, SEC and the AAC. Only 3 seeds set for the SEC tournament next week. The 1, Tennessee, and the 13, Vandy, and the 14, Missouri. In the AAC tournament for next week in Fort Worth, a lot of sorting out to do with 3 days over this weekend to do it. And right now, only 2 seeds are set. The 1 at USF and the 7 with North Texas.
How about that?
Go all the way down there to 7, and
Love it.
that's where they are. It doesn't matter what happens this weekend for them. Next week will be fun. This weekend will be fun, too.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really good weekend. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we're talking wagering with Alan Bell.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Something bad has happened to Mom.
Streaming March 14th on Peacock.
Joy Delaney, mother of 4, has gone missing.
From the author of Big Little Lies and 9 Perfect Strangers.
She will come back.
You think we're this, big, happy family?
I have a confession.
Starring Oscar nominee Annette Bening, Sam Neill, Jake Lacey, and Allison Brie.
Secrets will poison any family, and what you don't know can hurt you.
Apples Never Fall. Streaming March 14th, only on Peacock.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older, or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Hi, this is Lauren Choate. As we welcome clearer skies and brighter days, it's the perfect time to clear up something else, your home's air quality. Right now, for a limited time only, get a free dryer vent cleaning with every air duct cleaning service. Did you know that cleaning your air ducts can not only improve your home's air quality, but also increase your HVAC system's efficiency? Well, it's not just about efficiency. It's about safety and reducing the risk of dryer fires significantly. With Choate's expert technicians, you can rest assured that your air ducts and dryer vent will be cleaned thoroughly, leaving your home safer in your air pressure. All it takes to breathe easier and save, just one call to Choate's. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Schedule your air duct cleaning service today. Give us a call at 347-8086 or visit us online, choateshvac.com. Choates, let our family serve your family.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's already building in the construction zone over here from time to time, northbound on 55 as you head up towards Crump. Be careful there all weekend long. Hey, don't forget Sunday, they're going to close 55 here on the bridge to do some work. Don't let that catch you off guard. Traffic's moving through Midtown right now, I-40 east and west over here around Chelsea. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line, Alan Bell joins us from the AB3 and Driving the Line. Alan, thanks so much for joining us. We've finally gotten to that point of the year. March is here, and we've got all-day college basketball with some of these mid-major tournaments already up and running. Have you been paying attention? Got anything later today for some of these smaller mid-major tournaments?
Yeah, man. First, I appreciate you guys having me back. I love this time of year, like especially when it is the mid-major tournaments, right? Like, next week we'll have the bigger tournaments, going at it. But you just get basketball all day long, man. And it just, I don't care like how far anybody goes back, like. College basketball this time of year, when the NCAA tournament was introduced, it's just arguably the best postseason, that we have. Yeah, man, I like Dayton tonight. I'll tell you that. I'm big on the Flyers. But,
already strong on Dayton over VCU. VCU's kind of Friday night's team.
Sure.
I think I've watched them play a bunch of Friday nights this year. So you like Dayton laying the 8.5 at home in Dayton, a great basketball town that will host the games on Tuesday and Wednesday night. In do they call it opening round, or is it just first four?
Yeah, well, I guess it is the first four now, isn't it?
Yeah. So you don't have a lock on Mercer and Citadel?
No, America's waiting on that one too. Like everybody's pins and needles waiting on that one.
Alan, we talked at length about it in our opening segment when we came on the air just at 3:00. The news out of Temple, and we were both a little surprised of the integrity unit that colleges have established and that most people are a member of to call and alert if they think anything is funny going on. Is that just a tattletale hotline?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I'll say this though, and we spoke about this. Gosh, this might have been a year ago. I have to give colleges credit, college players credit. Like, I thought that there would be way more issues from college players, because think about it, man. Like, say, like you're a quarterback at insert school, whatever, right? Like, you've got buddies that are talking to you, all kinds of different people, right? Like, college players have been quiet. It's pro players that have had issues with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that line is what it is, but and I got to give college players credit. Like, we've only had a couple instances, and one of them was a coach, right? With Alabama.
No kidding. Yeah. And Alan, I hope people. I don't want to sound like the grizzled old guy, the guy that's seen everything, because I haven't, but I've seen a lot, and it's nothing new about it. I knew of way back a Liberty Bowl between Auburn and Arkansas that there was the rumor of a lot going on, and a lot went on, and a couple players got pulled because of it during the game, and other guys went in.
Yeah. The good thing about it is that, you're right. The good thing about it is that, nobody wants, safer, I guess mess with, I don't have a better word for it, than the sports books themselves. Right. So
they're the first to pull the fire alarms, aren't they?
Oh, 100%. Because, I mean, we're talking.
Because they're going to win. They don't have to cheat.
That's also a good point. But like they want everything on the up and up. These are billion-dollar businesses that quite frankly we don't even have Florida in yet, Texas in yet, or California in yet. Like, and they're already making massive amounts of money, and they don't want anything on the negative with these. So that's a good thing too, man. Like, everybody's on the same page with it. Like it's harder to get away with these things now with the internet than it was pre-internet, when a couple connected associates came down to talk to you in the dorm room,
Alan, there was a time that the number one lobbying job in Washington, D.C. was for the Motion Picture Association of America, and it was a old LBJ right-hand man, a guy named Jack Valenti. He had it. And then Bill Frist had a guy that became like the recording industry person, always either wanted to be the liquor lobby guy in Washington or the gambling lobby guy in Washington.
Yeah, 100%, man. Anything that you can do to get that, and also, get your hands on some kind of retirement pension, right? Like there's always something going on.
Yeah, just hang on to a few scraps.
That's great. What have you made of Tennessee this year? They clinched the SEC regular season title earlier this week with the win over South Carolina. Certainly puts them in good position for both the conference, and I know a lot of people now talking about that potential number 1 seed for the NCAA tournament. What have you made of what Tennessee's been doing over these last couple weeks?
It's been amazing. I mean, we talked about it last Friday, right? Like, yeah. I honestly think that they're one of the 4 best teams in the country, right? I mean, I know that their ranking is right there, but I mean, they can do it all. This team's been quiet, and that's exactly what you want. UConn's the same way, right? Like they can score, they can play defense, they can do everything. I think that I don't even know if they have to win a game in the SEC tournament to get the 1 seed. It's going to help, right? But I'd have a hard time keeping them out of it, man. Look at this gauntlet they just went through. Yeah. Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina on the road. I know that they play Kentucky. So I don't, like it really doesn't matter. But still, like, they've done it. And the conference is tough. It would be hard for me to take them out of being a 1 seed there.
I said it the other day, mostly joking, but it's a fact. Dalton Knecht can do something at the University of Tennessee that not even Peyton Manning could do. Win a national championship.
Yep, true. He could, man. Like, this team could do it. And this is the year, we spoke about this last week as well. This is the year to do it. There's parity across the board, right? I mean, every team has its stalls, so to say, but he can absolutely do it. I think the kid's an All-American, man. Like, he has just played his tail off, man. He really has.
He has, but it is setting up anything shy of a net around his neck and one shining moment playing in the background. It's going to be brutal on Rick Barnes. If they lose in the final, well, he finally got there, but we knew he'd lose in the finals. If he gets to the national semifinals, we knew he would get there, but he finally got there, but we knew he couldn't close the deal. Yeah. In the 8 or for sure the 16, if it's an early exit, it's going to be brutal, savagery.
No, it is. It is, and I'll tell you where it'll come from first, and that's Knoxville, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Knoxville and Nashville will lead the way with Memphis pointing and laughing at him.
Right. I know. I do a radio show with some of those guys in Knoxville every week on Thursdays, and we were talking about just that. And, they were the ones that were saying it. They were like, look, man, they're like, we get a lot of Tennessee fans that call in that are nervous about the tournament. I was like, yeah, the team go far. They're like, no, they're nervous they're going to get knocked out. I was like, yeah, that's also there. I was like, it's fair, man. Like, that history with Rick Barnes. And look, it's hard to win titles, man. It is. But still, like, he's done it a lot, and it starts to add up. So you're right. There's nothing wrong with that point whatsoever. Yep.
Here's how hard it is, and far as tough as I can be on him, as great as he is, John Calipari's 1-1. Tom Izzo's 1-1. Nolan Richardson 1-1. Tubby Smith 1-1. That's how tough it is. It's
hard.
Bob Huggins 1-0.
Yeah, seriously, that's a good point right there. I mean, think about how just Memphis and Kentucky. Think about how many good, and I understand how tough that one was, for Memphis fans. Like, Calipari has had some amazing teams, man. Really, really amazing teams.
You could argue he should have won it with Marcus Camby and Travieso and those cats at UMass in '96.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's difficult, and it's one of those to where, you look at it and we talk about like the NFL playoffs, and you look at like a really good coach, like, well, or like a quarterback, and it's like, well,
Lamar.
He had to lose watching the playoffs. It's like, well, most coaches do. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah. one team that it's just hard to figure them out, and I guess the easiest way to play them is just bet the overs for every game. But Alabama, I mean, they are a team that can score against anybody, but it doesn't seem like they can stop anybody. And we've seen them at times in SEC play look like one of the best teams in the country, but we've also seen them give up more than 100 points on two different occasions. Going into the SEC tournament, what do you do with a team like that?
Great question. I think Kentucky's in the same boat. What do you do with them? They're exactly the same way. They score 100 points to lose, right? It's nuts, man. And that is a smaller microcosm of the entirety of college basketball this year. I mean, Sam's UConn, who doesn't really have any large issues. I mean, go down the list, man. Houston's a really good team, but they've got issues. Kansas, Purdue. I mean, anybody, right? Like, that's the most difficult
Arizona,
part. So, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, so keep going, So, to your point, number one, bet the overs, because now, not that Alabama has to fight to get in the tournament or anything, but, the better that they do, the better seeding that they're going to get, right? Like, they're going to take these games very, very seriously, which means points. So, yeah, man, like, bet overs. And other than that, I don't have much advice for it. I don't even think these coaches have a bunch of good advice for it. Nate Oates probably tell you the same thing.
And for Nate Oates, he is rapidly becoming second-round Nate.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and, the fascinating part is, like, man, like, he's done a great job at Alabama, right?
For sure.
That program's been something, but he's made it consistently good. However, you almost kind of get poisoned a little by your own success. And, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, once you start losing to teams that are, quote-unquote, a little bit less than you, it doesn't reflect well.
And, in Tuscaloosa, hadn't won it all in football since 2020.
Buddy.
That's forever, isn't it?
I'll tell you this, man. I like Kalen DeBoer. He did good things in Washington. He better prepare himself.
Oh, man. Got to.
He'd go 11-1, and they boo him.
I think he's got to get in the playoffs next year, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, man. Yeah, I mean, y'all are like me. Y'all lived around here for a long time. You understand, the entirety of the Southeast. Even really good Alabama fans, with a good perspective, they'll tell you, they're like, man, we have been very blessed. And
Alan, I'm sorry, I've never met an Alabama fan with a good perspective. I'm sorry.
Hard to find out there.
It's gonna be tough, man.
Yeah.
The perspective is 15-1 or 14-2.
Yeah.
That's
Or
right.
get out.
Yeah. Bingo. Last thing for you, Alan. I was looking earlier today at the slate of college baseball we have this weekend, and it is unbelievable. We've got ACC Conference Series starting, Big 12 Conference Series starting. SEC will get started, I believe, next week or the week after, but it's coming soon. But some really good matchups this weekend. Do you have anything you're looking at for today or this weekend in college baseball?
Yeah. So, I'll tell you, and we've had some games that have already started here, Friday afternoon. But a team like Florida has to win. They have lost, I think, 3 of their, 4 losses total this year have come in the last 9 games. St. Mary's, they got to get some wins. We got number 12 Duke at number 1 Wake Forest. That's going to be a great series. Texas, give Texas credit. These boys last week played Texas A&M, who's the top 10 team in the country. They're playing Texas Tech, who's the highest scoring team in the country. Texas needs some wins badly. And then a series this weekend that is going to be fun, but not as, kind of marquee matchup. Pittsburgh and North Carolina. Pittsburgh, a much better team than people give them credit for. But, yeah, man, bet Florida. They have to win this weekend. Absolutely have to.
I like it. Yeah, lost the midweek game to UCF earlier this week, and I know a lot of people were freaking out after that result. So, going to be a really fun weekend. College basketball, college baseball, NBA, a lot to bet on. But Alan, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Hey, look forward to it, boys. Y'all have a good weekend, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Alan.
You too. Alan Bell with us every week. He's part of our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line when he joins us, and Sissy's Log Cabin big part of the community. We're so proud to be associated with them. They're very proud to be a part of our community. The official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies, official jeweler of the Memphis Tigers, and at FedEx Forum we go to the Floor Seat Lounge and Sissy's Log Cabin Lounge there in the back area. As you're headed toward the Grizzlies locker room, you see the fun there. That new location, it's been open since December. We were proud to be a part of that. At 4542 Poplar, Bill Jones and his great team here to stay. Some in and out overnight, not Sissy's Log Cabin. Here to stay and be a fabric of the community. Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood. Stop by just to see the store. You're not going to believe that that's in Memphis. That's like Park Avenue. That's like Michigan Avenue. It's like Rodeo Drive with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and much more since 1970 with locations across Arkansas and Tennessee. Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, an expansive selection, and an extraordinary experience because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we talked earlier about the Tigers and FAU tomorrow. We're going to talk about that a little more. That's next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get your tickets and get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 p.m. for Women's Night presented by Nike. Arrive early. The first 5,000 fans in attendance will receive a clear Grizzlies crossbody bag. Get your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we talked about it earlier, but it's a massive game tomorrow for the Tigers against FAU. A road game for them. FAU coming off a road win earlier this week on the road against North Texas, a 4-point win, for them. So both teams coming off a win. Obviously, Memphis with a lot more downtime with their last game being last Sunday. But, Brett, what do you expect to see tomorrow morning?
Well, what I want to see is a good, quick start. I don't think the Tigers can try the dig the hole and get out of it tomorrow because they're waiting on them. That's a big one. I would say I mentioned some of those the losses FAU had early in the year. I think a lot of that was neutral. They lost at home to Bryant, to you.
Yeah, that's right. Single-handedly. How about that?
Early in the year.
Yeah.
I think this is the most glamorous opponent, certainly this year, ever in that building. And so a good quick start to try to take a little out of that home crowd, very much imperative tomorrow. I wouldn't try to be trying to climb uphill all day because that's going to catch it. There's a point tomorrow that it is, then kind of understand it, and then everything gears up for next week. It's one of the things that I kind of wish hadn't been so much. Now it's so big, and we've made a lot of it. I said a heavyweight match, but for Coach Hardaway, if it's a 13-point loss, he's got to walk in there and go, season starts at Dickey's Arena.
Absolutely. And, I mean, at this point of the season.
And we know we can do it. We did it last year.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, this point of the season, there's kind of got to be that mindset of no matter what just happened, the high of the highs or the lows of the lows, however you finish your season, you got to wash everything clean.
Rear view.
And,
you do.
And start anew in the conference tournament because everyone is playing for that conference championship, and it's much different. I was telling John Harden earlier today, yesterday in college basketball, 11 lower seeds won their game yesterday. And now I know some of those were 8-9 games, 11-12 games, first-round games of similar seeds, but there were some 7-2 games up there. I mean, you never know what's going to happen in college basketball. I think it was, the lower seed was 11-10 yesterday. So you really never know what's going to happen in these games, and you can't underestimate anybody. You got to bring your A game every single night.
I mentioned it in our open that Utah and Iowa, you want them to kind of lose over the weekend, lose first round of respective tournaments. Villanova, you see Villanova and Seton Hall kind of interchangeable. One of those two teams are in over the Tigers. Right. Villanova for sure, and I think head-to-head should matter. I don't think there's a lot of difference. I know the net is 43 for Pitt. Yeah. The net for the Tigers is what, 70?
I believe so, yes.
71 even.
Let's see.
71.
Is it 71?
It is. So you see those teams kind of in the same conversation out there. You go, that's all from Jerry Palm. You go to Joe Lunardi, and he is the most favorable toward the Tigers. Yeah. In my vernacular, he would have them as kind of the fifth seed.
Yeah.
The fifth alternate.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like for, a lot of people, and we talk about Shelby Masbrack a lot, I know he has them right around there. And so, it seems like there are a lot of bracketologists. I think bracket guy Dave even might have him as the top of the next four out, or even the last team in the first four out.
I'm sorry, I was too stupid to get to his information. It was so complicated laid out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw that on Twitter
I don't mean to take it. I don't mean to take a shot at him, but it's one thing I love about Shelby Mass' site.
It's so easy.
It's so easy
so
to read. Bracket guy Dave, I thought I was needing to hit like 6 more links to get to it.
Well, and
just give it to me.
I mean, it's we talked about it earlier this week. All this math that we're throwing at people, and then you go to his website, and it's So
it really was. I would tell him as a friend. I don't know him at all, but friendly on friendly terms, make it easier to understand.
Yeah, no kidding. But it seems like the Tigers are hanging around there. And,
I'm too lazy to think.
Well, you and me both. But if they can make some noise, whether it be tomorrow in Boca or in the conference tournament, I think that'd be big. Brett, I think another thing when we talk about kind of the human element of it, and we talk about Penny Hardaway saying after the game against East Carolina, net's reflective of what the score is on the scoreboard, and so we've got to keep playing late in the game. If you go to the conference tournament and you hang up a 15-point win, 20-point win in some of those games, when they're looking at that bracket, they're going to say, look at the Tigers, look at them and how well they're playing.
That's part of my slow point that I've gotten to on even with a loss tomorrow. The door is not slammed shut on at-large. So that would probably be 4 games in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, go out there and wallop somebody.
Yes.
22, 25. I mean, just hammer somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Friday, kind of a little cozy 15, 16-point win. Then just survive Saturday and get to Sunday and hope that's enough or win thing. Tigers get to Sunday, they're winning that tournament.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I love their chances. They get to the championship game, and I think those chances are really, really good. I mean, we've said it time and time again. They have the most talented team in the conference. There's no question about that.
Here's Shelby Mass teams. Last 4 in: Iowa, Virginia, St. John's, Providence. I think I've made my point about Iowa and St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Tiger resume is any better or any worse than Providence. And Virginia, they beat them.
Right.
First 4 out, James Madison. Okay, hope get them scratched up in their tournament this week. Are they in their tournament, or it played next week?
No, they're in their tournament right now. They haven't played yet. I think they play either today or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Then Colorado, I think they're in, and their profile I think is a little better than Memphis. Utah, I've talked about them, and then Memphis.
Yeah.
And then A&M is right behind Memphis as far as is kind of alternate.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said,
Butler I don't take seriously.
No, I don't either.
Now here's a problem with Drake in the Missouri Valley.
Mm-hmm.
If Drake wins the Arch Madness, Indiana State deserves at large.
I'm with you, and they've played really
Tiger
well.
fans, you be pulling against Drake.
Yeah.
All right, true or false? Here we go, Johnny. You ready?
Ooh.
Either, neither, or both. Indiana State and Drake been to a Final Four ever? Either, neither, or both.
They both been.
That is correct.
There you go.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Very
I love that.
good.
That's
Indiana
great.
State with a man named Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Drake a long time ago. Indiana State a long time ago.
Yeah.
Larry Legend.
I've heard a thing or two about that Larry Bird guy. He was supposedly pretty
Beat Arkansas in the Elite Eight in Cincinnati with one of the worst calls in the history of the tournament. History of the tournament. I didn't know whether to cry or cuss. I was so mad.
Well, hey, that's
Think I
sports
did both.
for you, Brett. How sports works. But some of the best jerseys in college basketball, I think, Indiana.
Oh, they broke them out today. They broke out in the day. Larry Bird and looked great. I still can't think fond of them. I really can't.
Well, hey,
From 1979.
sports will do it to you, Brett. It
will.
Really will. Break your heart. It'll make you the happiest man in the world.
Make you a crazy person.
Sure will. It sure will. Ask John Harden. It's made him a crazy person a couple times this week. But we need to go ahead and wrap up this hour and get to a break. And when we come back, we're talking more wagering with Bruce Marshall.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Don't let the name Sunrise fool you. Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar don't just make one fantastic breakfast. They're also the best choice for a fast, fresh lunch made just for you. Chain restaurants are focused on getting you in and out as quickly as possible. Sunrise wants to make sure that after you've enjoyed your lunch, you'll be happy that the crew at Sunrise genuinely cares about you. Not in a weird way. They care that your burger or BLT or Dirty Bird are exactly the lunch you were craving. We've said it a million times. Don't settle when there are 2 locations of Sunrise just a short drive away.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Traffic's on the increase quite a bit just in the last few minutes out here on 240 East now from Mill Branch out to Bill Morris Parkway. Had normal buildup for this time of the afternoon up through the Midtown area. Starting to take effect southbound on 240 passing South Parkway. 55 wants to get a little bit busy at times in that construction zone. As you head up towards Krupp, don't forget 55 on the bridge. That's going to be shut down with some road work or some work going on there over the weekend on Sunday. Hey, Weiber's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. Your family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, bamsports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with handicapping and sports talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Bryant and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joins us on the Sissy's Log Cabin phone line. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. A lot of basketball going on today, yesterday, with a lot of these mid-major conference tournaments up and rolling. But I want to start, and Brett and I talked about this earlier today, but the situation going on with Temple basketball today, a lot of people looking at them a little sideways after last night. There was a lot of line movement. I think early in the day it was UAB minus 2.5. It jumped all the way to UAB minus 7.5, and no injuries, nothing. A watchdog service kind of called him out on it, and now it sounds like there might be an investigation about what happened with that line yesterday. What did you make of this story that came out this morning?
Unfortunately, I was late to the party because I made a release on Temple, and I saw that line move up. I thought, oh, man, I got to do this here. So, but, I was on Tulane that game against Memphis back in '85 when that stuff started to happen there, too. So I seem to be on the wrong side of these things. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there was obviously a money dump there on UAB. It's, it's easy to read something into that. It doesn't mean that anything untoward came about it. It's just when they see that much money come in on one side and that sort of a move, their antenna are up. It may be just the big betting syndicates just decided that was a game they liked and they came in really hard. But it all happens so quickly there. It just raises suspicion. So they're going to have to check it out. They were, in the stats a little bit, some weird stuff. They got like crushed off the glass in that game, which shouldn't normally happen, but it could. So I'm always reluctant to jump to conclusions on this stuff. Whenever there is that sort of a move, they will, by nature, want to look at it a little bit more, though it doesn't necessarily mean there was anything untoward going on. We'll just have to see what happens.
Bruce, I like the calm, reserved style that you always have, because even back in 1985, and I had referenced that earlier, if I'm correct, wasn't Hot Rod Williams cleared of everything?
I think he was, yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know that we say that often enough when we talk about that in the day. We just kind of leave it hanging, and I'm as guilty as anyone. I did it about an hour ago, but I think Hot Rod Williams was fully cleared.
Yeah, and that sort of wrecked Ned Fowler's career, although he kept coaching in some different places.
Didn't help Hot Rod.
Didn't help, yeah, that's right. And that was a pretty darn good coach, and Hot Rod, high profile too. That's true. Now, some of these, there has been some stuff going on. The stuff at Arizona State in '94
with Headache Smith.
Headache Smith, Rick Kuhn, BC, back in the late '70s, and if you go back into the '50s, and so there's a whole lot of stuff that went on back then. But
Bruce, help me. At BC, wasn't Bruce Pearl not primary but ancillary to some of that at BC?
I think that came before Pearl.
Okay.
Pearl
I thought he was a GA.
Well, he might have been, because he was with Dr. Tom, and he came with him to Stanford, so he could have been there in '78. We're talking 46 years ago now.
And that used to ruin you. If you were anywhere ancillary, primary, if you were in the area code, you were ruined.
You were, and there's peripheral, stuff that went on with that. So, you don't want to be caught in the crossfire of that. I'm just checking out, when he might have been there, because that was 78 or 79.
79, I think, yeah. And I say this mostly jokingly. A guy that might be on a take is a guy named Headache.
Yeah, well, I remember watching that game with USC. See, this is the odd thing, because when those things have happened, usually it's guys shooting that badly. So that's it's usually you can tell in shooting stats. That game with Headache Smith, he was missing all of his shots. Pearl went to Boston College. He wasn't on staff then, I don't think. But he was at Boston College. So, and I'm not sure if he even played there. He was a manager on the team, so I'm not sure he was there in '78, '79 when that all took place. He did join. He was with Dr. Tom for about a decade at Stanford and Iowa, though, for sure.
We were talking about an hour ago on the scandals through the years, and it's a big exception, except for the referee Donahue. I don't remember the NBA embroiled in a big one.
No. Not that made a lot of publicity, and not lately. I mean, they've been the Donahue thing really got them watching, and they've been watching this, very closely, and even before, Donahue did that, and it was sort of subtle, the stuff that he was doing, at least at the time. It had to do with totals and things like that, so where the refs could manipulate. But it's just, this is the stuff. This stuff goes on. but it rarely goes on at the top levels of a sport, as it's harder to get away with it. There's more money bet there, and it's harder to elicit a bribe when the players are getting paid more. Now, colleges are vulnerable, but the real corruption in this stuff comes in other sports. It's in tennis and cricket and overseas lower tier soccer matches and exhibition friendly matches between countries and things, and there's very loose. But you don't see this in the English Premier League or the Bundesliga in Germany. It's usually lower levels than that where this stuff can happen.
Right. Yeah. It's a weird story, though, nonetheless, from Temple. But we do have a lot of day basketball yesterday, a lot of day basketball today, and that'll continue into next week. What conference tournament that has either already started or will start next week that you really have your eye on?
Well, I'm watching right now. I got a good one going on in the Missouri Valley Arch Madness, Northern Iowa, which is a team I was kind of watching in this tournament, playing Belmont right now in a real barn burner. Indiana State won comfortably earlier today. And it's tough to come when you're off of a win like Missouri State yesterday, or tonight. UIC is playing Bradley tonight.
Yeah, and they went double OT.
Sure did.
Yeah, OT. I highly doubt UIC is going to come up big tonight. I would look at Bradley in that one. Interesting to me, tonight is out in the WCC, where at the Orleans second round, well, they had that play-in game last night between Pacific and Pepperdine in the afternoon, actually, and Pepperdine won by almost 60. Now they've decided they're moving on from Lorenzo Romar. They are letting him coach this tournament, though. He's a very popular guy. Everybody likes him. The players like him. They're going to play very hard for him. And I think they may win against San Diego tonight. Here's interesting, though, just in case this is Lorenzo's last game, and I don't think it will be. I think they'll win, against Steve Lavin and San Diego. Lavin, if you remember, was on staff with Lorenzo at UCLA for Jim Herrick's championship team in '95. The following year, Lorenzo was the top assistant. Lorenzo got the job at Pepperdine a couple of months before Herrick had that thing explode on him at UCLA, and they forced him out, and Lavin was the guy, the next in line, and got promoted. And forevermore, I mean, had Lorenzo not taken the Pepperdine job, he would have got the UCLA job. So that little quirk there altered the career paths of both Romar, who has had a pretty good career, though, and Lavin for sure, but Lorenzo would have been the guy who took over UCLA had he not taken the Pepperdine job. So that's always interesting, and they are facing each other tonight in the WCC because Lavin's at San Diego now.
Bruce, how many schools are under the rubric of the California State? I mean, UC Davis, UC Irvine. How many out there? Because you texted me last night, and there's a San Diego, that's the Toreros, right? There's a San Diego State, and there's a UC San Diego?
Yes, there is. Where I was at UC San Diego last night to watch the game against UC Davis. So those are UC schools. San Diego State is a California state school. That's like Long Beach, Fresno, San Jose, and several others. Fullerton, Cal State School. USD is a Jesuit school. It's a Catholic school. So they're like Santa Clara USF.
That's David Fisdale's alma mater.
Yeah. And so there's three different ones in San Diego. But the UCs, Davis, Riverside, Santa Barbara, and, of course, UCLA, Berkeley, they are one branch of the California public universities, and the Cal States, there are more Cal States, and that's San Diego State, Long Beach State, Fresno State, San Jose, and then so that's the other branch of the
It gets
California
complicated,
public.
and then when Cal and UCLA play football, mostly in football with both bands there, the fight song's the same.
Yeah, and the colors are all the UC schools are shades of blue and gold too, which is the state color.
Right?
And some are a little lighter blue, some are a little darker blue, but they all Riverside, Irvine, they're all UCLA, Cal, they all have blue and gold.
Wow, I watch a lot of those teams. I never realized that. That is awesome.
My mind's blown.
The more you know, I guess. Well, we've been talking a lot about the Tigers, their game tomorrow against Florida Atlantic, an early one on CBS. I don't think a line's out yet, but what do you think about that one tomorrow? Memphis got FAU earlier this year, a couple weeks ago here in Memphis. Now they have to go down to Boca to face this FAU team on the road. What do you expect to see in that game tomorrow?
Well, FAU will be a very slight favorite. I'll give Penny credit because he's got Memphis back in the bubble mix here now. So I still think they might be on the wrong side of the cut line as of today, Friday. They win that game tomorrow, I think they're sitting right on it. And then they have left themselves a position if they can keep it going next week in the conference tournament. They might hear their name called. I think for that to happen, though, they would, and if they don't win the American, because of course they'll have a chance to do that. But if they're to be in at large, they're going to have to win that game tomorrow, and that would give them 2 wins over FAU in a couple weeks, closing the season hot. The profile all of a sudden is looking a little bit better, and there have been some teams falling off the bubble in recent weeks. Oregon, Butler, a few others.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. So Memphis sort of moves in there, and a couple of these Missouri Valley teams like Indiana State and Drake suddenly have at-large hopes too. So I think there's a chance, Memphis, but for the at-large, they should win that game tomorrow. That puts them in much better shape.
Bruce, it feels like for the dominoes that could fall in coaching carousel, it starts in Westwood. It starts with Mick Cronin. Great start to his career there, but now this year not so good, and maybe he's back to the Midwest, back to Ohio State, and that could impact Eric Musselman at Arkansas, and that could cause some movement in the SEC.
It could. Now, Cronin's an interesting case. Now, he has complained, and from what I hear, because UCLA doesn't have the nil operation up as fast yet, he sort of had to go overseas to get a lot of the new players for this year. And there's some restrictions on those guys getting paid things even from nil, from what I understand. So he's sort of caught between this year, and even though those are some highly regarded guys, because UCLA isn't yet up to speed on the nil, and they're apparently they're addressing that right now. That's sort of to blame partly for what has gone on this year. He's got a pretty big buyout, though, so UCLA is not going to swallow that. They're not going to move him out. Now, would he want to leave? Would somebody else want to pay that buyout? There's been talk about Ohio State. He's a Midwestern guy. I am pretty sure Michigan's going to open up. Louisville's going to open up, I think. There will be some others. Indiana is not. They've met a little surge here. They're going to keep Mike Woodson around. But that is one to watch, though. I don't expect the domino to fall through Westwood. They could elsewhere. And I would watch a couple of these jobs like Louisville that I'm pretty sure are going to open up, and that they become very attractive, and they could pull from a big name to come in.
Another power conference job opened up just about an hour ago. It became official. Washington is going to part ways with Mike Hopkins as they're about to enter the Big Ten. It sounds like the big name is Danny Sprinkle at Utah State. Obviously, Utah State having an unbelievable season in the Mountain West. How tough of a job, how good of a job is that at Washington? And now with them moving to the Big Ten, do you like the idea of Danny Sprinkle there? What do you think about this move?
Yeah, Sprinkle's on his way up. I could see that. And maybe Leon Rice at Boise, although he does not want to leave Boise. He likes living there. He's raised his kids there. So I don't think Rice's name is going to be he's going to put his name in the hopper there. But Sprinkle definitely could. Interesting. Washington, I mean, they waited until they played Washington State and beat them last night. I actually think Washington can make a run in the tournament next week. In the Pac-12 tournament. This is not a bad team, though. They've had enough flat spots this year that got Hopkins in some trouble. Remember, at one point, he was expected to be the guy to take over at Syracuse because he worked under Jim Boeheim for so long. But Boeheim never, it took him a long time to retire, and Hopkins decided he had to go out on his own. A lot of people saw this coming at Washington. I'm just a little curious on the timing there, but they must have their eyes set on someone, and maybe it's Sprinkle. They want to make sure they get first in line though they're going to have to wait for Utah State season over before they do anything there.
Bruce, I was surprised to learn this. I knew he won it twice. I thought it was back-to-back. But with what Zach Edey's doing at Purdue, he's going to join a really elite group in winning AP Player of the Year twice, back-to-back for him. But Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he did not win it back-to-back. I didn't know that until studying a little more. He won it in the season it completed in 67, then Elvin Hayes, and then he won it again in 69, and then Pistol Pete Maravich. And he was only on the varsity 3 years and won it 2 of the 3 years.
Yeah, the Big E won it in 68. Big Lou came back and won it the next year, although Big Lou doesn't mind that because they got Houston in the game people forget about, which was the semifinal game that year. Blew out Houston and very much avenged that loss in the Astrodome. I mean, really avenged it. Unfortunately, a lot of the modern hoop historians forget that game happened, but nobody involved with UCLA forgets it. And Alcindor would make that trade Abdul-Jabbar any day of the week because he got the title and Big E didn't.
I think he's the single best college player ever.
I agree. Most dominant. I mean, he changed. I mean, and I think forevermore because if a guy comes around that good now, that dominant, he's probably not lasting more than a year.
Yeah.
And they changed the rules because of him, and that's the dunk rule. They outlawed the dunk after his sophomore year, if you can believe that. Zach Edey is never going to make them change the rules, and only Wilt and Kareem are the only 2 guys I remember them changing rules for, and it was widening the key for Wilt and dunk for Alcindor.
Zach Edey would be money ahead learning that sky hook right now.
Yes, I agree he would.
Yeah, you're right about that. Talking to Bruce Marshall. He joins us every single Friday from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. SEC tournament starting next week. What do you expect to see there? Do you have any leans one way or the other of who you think could come out on top?
Well, I think some of these teams look like they're securely in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
About the only intrigue, I think, involves Texas A&M, and they're making a late move here. And if they could beat Ole Miss tomorrow, they continue this. And they've done enough. I mean, they've beaten Iowa State, they've beaten Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi State the other night. That'll at least get them a hearing with the selection committee, and if they can make a run in the tournament next week, they got a chance. 2 years ago, Buzz took it all the way to the finals and lost that game to Tennessee 2 years ago. And a lot of people thought that was enough to get them in at large, and it didn't. They got the NIT instead. But something about A&M is interesting here because I was sort of down on them. I thought, and I wasn't the only one. I mean, they looked a little stale this year, and I thought maybe they should have refreshed a little more through the portal because most of the guys Buzz has there have been there for a couple of years now. But all of a sudden, you see them starting to play better right now, and they're the most interesting team in the tournament next week because I think all those others are already locked in there, and it's going to be a 7 or 8 bid league.
Yeah, they got the most pressure on.
Yeah, no pressure. There's 7, and then A&M be the 8th. I think Ole Miss is on the wrong side of the cut line now. So I guess they could be intriguing too. But other than A&M, I'm not sure how much drama there's going to be next week in the SEC.
Bruce, both football and basketball, a little bit of baseball, doesn't A&M really huff and puff and never blow anybody over?
Yeah, I mean, they do. All that money they spent there.
Perfect facilities, perfect campus.
Yes, perfect everything, and they just can't seem to do it. I don't know why, but they have. We talk football a lot. Jackie Sherrill, before Jimbo. I mean, it's gone there. Mike Sherman, just never quite been able to work, and they thought Buzz was going to be the guy here, and I still think. And Buzz is one of those guys who might get in the. If Louisville opens up, I have heard his name come up for that he might be a little stifled there at A&M. So Buzzsaw has a pretty good reputation, and I don't think they're done yet this year. I would keep an eye on A&M, and maybe they got one more trick up their sleeve. If they could win some of the games that they've won and beat some of their teams, the teams they have, I mean, they could be a little feisty if they can keep this run going. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun next week in Nashville for sure. Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Thanks, Bryant. Check me out online at VegasInsider.com. We got picks on all these games. Having a real good run in the NBA now, 18-5. Wow. The last 2 weeks in the NBA, so we're rolling pretty good there. At VegasInsider.com, you can get picks there, hockey and basketball. Also at CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com. Once in a while up there in CBS Sports HQ.
Bruce, last Sunday afternoon, hope you had the Celtics over Golden State. That was over before I could get the game on.
Yeah, I bypassed that. I'm usually on the losing side of those, but I did have Pepperdine against Pacific yesterday.
Oh, man.
Way to go.
First score I saw was, 49-7. I guess it was 39.
It was the lock of all time, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was one we put away early yesterday.
Yeah, doesn't get much easier than that. Well, Bruce, thanks so much. We'll do it again next Friday.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce, and good luck this weekend. Bruce Marshall with us every Friday talking all things Vegas, and a lot of games out there in Vegas. This weekend, two great places to enjoy Memphis barbecue, the new Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, and perfect for a big group for game watching early tomorrow morning if you'd like, Tiger fans. Turn the TV on, enjoy the day and the midday and the afternoon there at the Collierville Commissary, Houston Levy and Poplar. The great barbecue and the ribs done the slow-cooked Memphis way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text Commissary to 33733. Start with the appetizers, the smoked chicken wings, then the tamales, the cheese plate, the barbecue nachos. The barbecue nachos, a staple of sport across the country now, invented, created by the Germantown Commissary in the early 80s by Walker Taylor and his team. Then dig into the ribs of the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich. All the sides, slaw, beans, deviled eggs, bread, and you can order it by the pound, or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. The salads are terrific. I've talked about the hamburger, and then save room for dessert. It's a challenge, but it's the best lemon icebox pie you'll have anywhere. Banana pudding, strawberry cakes, so much more. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com. In Collierville and Germantown, the party areas, orders to go, catering, tailgating, any season is commissary season. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Well, we need to pause for a break. When we come back, we're talking Razorbacks, we're talking SEC with Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Welcome to The Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started The Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making The Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
The best athletes don't just play the game, they change it. When it comes to investing, Gainbridge is doing the same. Their online platform does things differently because it's designed to put you in charge of growing your own savings. It's intuitive, it's easy, and best of all, it's on your terms. No wonder Gainbridge has earned the trust of 40% repeat customers. It's a better way to invest because it's investing your way. Get started today at Gainbridge.io.
O'Reilly. Keep your tires looking like new with superior coverall tire shine at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people can help you choose the right detailing supplies for your vehicle. And right now, get 2 bottles of superior coverall tire shine for just $18. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're a pro and flooring is your game, we'll help you win it.
Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. You want decor?
Strike.
You want plumbing?
You're out.
LL Flooring has been helping pros knock it out of the park for over 30 years. Visit one of our 400 nationwide warehouses for one-on-one service, extensive inventory, and exclusive pro pricing. Get the pro treatment you deserve. Enroll today, online or in-store. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. MPD on the scene of a couple of accidents out here the last few minutes. It is busy now over here on 240 East and westbound as you come past Perkins, as that traffic increases even more now, getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. Don't forget they're working Sunday. They're going to close it there, 55 on the bridge. Don't let that catch you off guard. Again, they got a lot of work going on over there on the bridge starting Sunday. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Time to talk Razorbacks on Sportstime. Joining the guys is Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas to talk all things Hogs and SEC. On Twitter X at Ty Sports Radio, here's Ty Richardson with Bryant and Brett.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those Hogs!
Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas joins us to talk the Razorbacks and the SEC. Next week, we'll be talking about the conference tournament, as for a lot of these teams, it will be their last week of action. But for the Razorbacks, they're coming off a win earlier this week over LSU. They wrap up their regular season tomorrow against Alabama. It's been a rough season, Ty, but do you think that they could go to Nashville and win a couple games in this tournament?
Man, I sure hope so, because I really, as much as I'd love to see you two on the road back on Thursday, I'd rather stay to the weekend, guys.
Yeah.
And making the trek over on Tuesday, driving through the great city of Memphis to Nashville, and this Arkansas team, you just never know, right? They played in Lexington really tough. I see them playing Alabama tough tomorrow. I don't think they're going to win, but Ryan, to your question, man, I hope so. I don't really have anything tangible to show you this season that leads me to believe that, yeah, this is why they're going to do it. It's nothing but flawed hope, to be honest.
Well, in this time of year, that's what a lot of people cling to, and sometimes it gets cashed in. Often it doesn't, but sometimes it does, and when it does, it's magical. For the Razorbacks, sure feels like they're going to play on Wednesday, And the only 3 seed set in Nashville right now is Tennessee at the 1, Vandy at the 13, and Mizzou at the 14. Everything else still up for grabs. I guess there's a scenario where Arkansas could move to 11. I don't think they can get to 10, though, can they?
No, they can't. So them and Georgia right now, they both have tough road tests. Auburn is where Georgia will have to travel tomorrow. It's Alabama. Again, you're playing in Tuscaloosa for the Razorbacks. So if they win and Georgia loses, then that would lead them, as you said, stats to 11. Still can't get to 10 because A&M's got a lead that won't be tied. They've got a 2-game lead, and there's only 1 game. So Arkansas will either play Vanderbilt in Missouri. That much we know. It's just a matter if they'll play at 7 o'clock. I think it's 7 o'clock on Wednesday night or like 9:30, 9:45 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I could see where they could pull the upset over a South Carolina or a Florida.
Yeah, so Florida's got great front court play. I mean, I've been really impressed with the amount of depth that Todd Golden has featured there and really added. And then South Carolina, I know they lost to Tennessee, but when Beachy Johnson gets hot, he's so hard to stop. And they got Mack, and it's not Sean Murphy Bunting. I can't think of the young man, the freshman's name that's just dominated for them. But they've again, Lamont Paris. We've been talking about stats for the last couple of weeks. Coach of the Year in South Carolina.
Yeah, he is, and Tennessee sitting up there on top. Who do you think is the Final Four teams for the SEC?
Yeah, I got asked that earlier this week, and like the easy answer is to say Tennessee, but the way that those freshman guards at Kentucky can score the ball, Shepard, Wagner, and Dillingham. Dillingham's probably the best of the bunch. You have to almost put Kentucky above Tennessee, not because of like experience. Tennessee's got more than that with Ziegler and Vescovy and Josiah Jordan-James, and Adu's played like a different big man this year, but just like ceiling, right? And that trio, plus they've got some wings and front court players that I wouldn't say are just over the top elite, but they can be, and that offense is unbelievable. I'm not a believer in Alabama or Auburn, guys. I think Auburn's limited by their guard play. Alabama's limited by their lack of defense. So if I'm going to pick 2 teams, it's Tennessee and Kentucky. And if I had to pick an edge, I'd probably give it to Kentucky, even though I think they'll lose tomorrow in Knoxville.
And you know what? Historically, going into March, if you'd bet Kentucky over Tennessee, you'd be way ahead. They advance in March, and Tennessee doesn't.
Yeah, and I think we've got a good chunk of Tennessee fans listening. I mean, this is it, right? I mean, Ziegler's and Vescovy and the guys that I just mentioned, they've been around the block forever. You've got a player of the year in Dalton Connect. Barnes has not gotten over the hump in Knoxville. He's done it in Austin, but he hasn't done it in Knoxville. If you can't do it this year with this team, you're never going to do it, ever. And so that he's got to get that monkey off his back. And it's kind of weird because saying that, because, again, he went to a Final Four with Texas in 2003, but Austin, Texas is different than Knoxville, Tennessee, and Tennessee fans view it as he hasn't gotten us over the hump as our head coach yet.
Yeah. What do you make of this Texas A&M team going into the SEC tournament? I mean, a team that preseason was picked by a lot of people to win the SEC this year. I think has been a disappointment for them. They went on that kind of long losing streak in conference, but then you look up, they have wins over Kentucky. They have wins over Tennessee. They've beaten some of the top teams in the SEC. What do you expect them to do in Nashville next week?
Brian, I think they got 6 quad 1 wins.
Wow.
I mean, Buzz Williams, he's a mediocre coach. He was mediocre at Marquette, he's mediocre at Virginia Tech, and he's mediocre in College Station. Mm-hmm. And I like the guy, and I think he'd be fun to play for, but his teams don't perform either in March or leading, like right around March. I mean, you think about, I guess it was 2 years ago when they got all the way to the championship and then lost, and they were the last one out, apparently. He just doesn't have a lot of tournament success. And in today's climate of the SEC, and Seth, you asked me this a couple weeks ago, and you're right. Like, I would say across the board, coaching, you don't have the Nolan Richardsons, you don't have the Rick Pitino's and the coaching legends, but across the board, you've got about as salty a group college basketball-wise as you've ever had. And Buzz, going up against that year in, year out, hasn't shown that they are just he's the creme de la creme just yet, like, say, Barnes, Pearl, Cal, and even Muss at times. So, again, a lot of pressure on A&M, and I just don't think they have enough offense, Brian, to to win in Nashville, win the whole thing in Nashville next week. Yeah.
And, a lot of conversation here on the, first four out, next four out. Memphis and A&M are linked in that. Well, notwithstanding a Memphis win at College Station, then you just go through the rest of it. You mentioned the quad one wins, very impressive, but 13 losses, and they lost to FAU, they lost to Memphis. They just too many losses for me. At some point, you got to throw the metrics out and go, we want winners. I'm gonna go Mike Singletary on you.
And let's just be honest, y'all. I mean, this is not me just speaking to the base here, but college basketball fans, who do you want to see in the NCAA tournament? You want to see Memphis, a brand that's been viable in the sport, or do you want to see Texas A&M?
That's the truth.
You want to see Memphis. You want to see
That's
Memphis.
the truth.
Like,
yeah.
And if it comes and you mentioned that again, a win, and Memphis has got 3 or 4 wins against SEC competition. So I don't know if they have the same level of quad one wins like we were just talking about, but Memphis has got some good wins. They've just kind of trailed off like the Aggies, and I did not expect that the way they started their season. But man, oh man, did Penny and them hit a wall at points this year.
Sure did.
They did, and A&M also, they have a loss to UVA. Memphis beat UVA. I think that should factor in. I hope the committee's not just reading analytics and spreadsheets. I hope they've really watched and digested games this year. But you said it about Buzz Williams. At a couple different spots, probably fun-loving guy, fun to play for, all that. He's not very good. He's kind of the Seth Greenberg of our time.
That is the best comparison. I always get a kick. I remember Greenberg came out this fan one time. He was like, "What gives you the reason to say all this?" And he called himself an expert. And I was like, I like Seth Greenberg, but it's like, you didn't do anything at Blacksburg. Like, what makes you just be like, you call yourself Nick Saban? When I watch him on College Game Day and other ESPN segments, that's false. That is an expert. I am going to attach myself to every word that comes out of his mouth. Greenberg's not. I mean, I like Seth Greenberg. I think he's entertaining. Guy likes pizza. He's funny from time to time, but no expert. And yeah, that is the perfect comparison for Buzz Williams. And
I mean, I remember when Seth Greenberg was at Long Beach State, and he was utterly average there.
Part of it, man. Some guys just. And I don't want me to pick on the guy. I'm not going to say fail upwards, but some guys they're personable and they're good in interviews, and occasionally they beat Duke or North Carolina in Hokie land, but they were consistently like that on that bubble team, and that's what A&M is, and that's what Buzz Williams was in a couple different pit stops. They've just consistently been a bubble team or a fringe NCAA tournament team. There's some guys like for Eric Musselman, for example, that they have runs in the regular season. They're like, what are they doing? And then all of a sudden, postseason, they kick into another gear. There's other coaches that are like that. Muss is just close to home, of course. But and then some guys, great regular season coaches, like we've seen from Barnes in Knoxville, and they can't figure it out postseason. So we'll see if Rick Barnes kind of changes that token for his success story in Knoxville this season.
What's the biggest story around the Razorbacks in spring football?
BP stats, you know that.
No doubt. Yeah. No doubt.
And so they got the quarterback competition. Here's the thing, guys. Taylor Green's going to be a starting quarterback this fall. There's no I don't know if you guys can run over to Southland and bet some money on the starting quarterback for Arkansas, but if you could, you bet the house on Taylor Green. It's not going to be Jacoby Criswell. It's not going to be Malachi Singleton. It's going to be Taylor Green.
What's he do best?
He's 6'6". He's got some wheels. Bobby's been on him since high school stats. But the thing that all these fans are talking about, they were talking about this morning on our show after spring practice started, is how's Bobby Petrino going to work? Is he going to take over for Sam if Sam fails? And answer to both of those is, one, I don't know. Two, no. But that is the most fascinating thing, not just for Arkansas fans, but I think SEC fans are genuinely curious. Is this thing going to strike lightning like it did for a couple years in the 2010 to 2011? Guess we'll find out this season.
Yeah.
And when you have a good year, don't worry about where the credit goes. But a lot of people will make a big deal out of, is this Bobby Petrino or is this Sam Pittman? If I'm Sam Pittman, I just say that's what I hired him to do, win.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, and Brian can attest to this, the guys that work, you always prop people up. And I've noticed that from just being your friend the last couple of years. And Petrino, Pittman was like, he just, like you said, he just wants to win. And so if they win, he's not going to – he doesn't seem like a glory hog. Like some coaches you run into, they want everything for themselves. But if he's going to be like – I guarantee you he's going to give credit to like he did 2 years ago or 3 years ago in 2021. First thing out of his mouth after big-time wins was, I got to give all the credit to the coaching staff and the players. They did a great job. He mentioned Barry Odom. He would mention Kendall Briles. And, man, they hang, 30 or 40 in that Stillwater game week 2, and they somehow pull out an upset. First thing out of his mouth is going to be like, man, I'm sure glad I hired Bobby Petrino. That's just the kind of coach Stan Pittman at least comes across to be.
You've been with us since September. You'll be with us next Friday, and that'll conclude our visit with you regularly. We're going to check with you on the road to Omaha for sure. We'll see you at SEC Media Days, but we will talk about this a lot the first time we have you back next fall. Nothing bigger than week 2 in Stillwater against Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. That's as must-win as the Razorbacks have ever played in.
Yeah, stats, and they're going to have to go up against A.J. Green, former Arkansas running back, Ollie Gordon, best running back in college football. I think their entire offensive line's back, a couple stud wide receivers, quarterback. Gundy is going to look at that Arkansas defense that lost like 4 linebackers and just lick his chops. So Petrino better have a game plan ready to score some points because that is going to be a shootout. I don't see much defense being played in Stillwater that day or night. I'm going to make the trek over. It's about a 2.5, 3-hour drive from me, and I think a lot of Arkansas fans who haven't been to Boone Pickett Stadium will try and make that trip because that's the first, like, hey, show me something game. Like, UAPB and Little Rock, that's nothing. That's jack squat. That's the game where, like, you set the tone and somehow, some way find a win there in Stillwater. You set the tone for the entire season where your first Fayetteville game is that following week against UAB, which, by the way, the late Chris Mortensen's son, Alex, who played quarterback at Arkansas, is the OC out there. So that will be an interesting game for that connection as well.
Yeah, well, it's fun. I got to tell you, seeing all these teams and getting spring practice up and rolling, it's a lot of fun to see all the reports, see the pictures, see the videos coming out from these teams. So I know basketball's about to end, but baseball, SEC starts next week. SEC play starts next week, so that will be a lot of fun. Ty, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Hey, last one for a while next week, boys. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Ty.
You got it, Ty. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it so much. Ty Richardson with us from ESPN Arkansas, and you really have all three going right now with spring football, basketball, baseball. It's all going, and everybody's clinging to that last strand of hope.
Yeah, no, and it's interesting because especially with the SEC this year in football, it seems like the news has never stopped with kind of the anticipation of Texas and Oklahoma. It seems like there's so much to talk about, and then you just add what this basketball season has been. Baseball has been unbelievable. We talk about what those two teams, coming in will mean to all of the conferences. And I know we spend a lot on those three, but we had a texter yesterday text in and say softball. I mean, you got Oklahoma, who it was like 75 straight games at home.
That's true.
They didn't lose. I mean, softball is going to be much better with these teams. Every sport is going to benefit, and it's going to be it's always busy.
It's going to benefit, and like I said the other day, I went through very lightly shaded pencil, very lightly with so I've already since then I've changed a couple.
Oh, I love that.
Just looking at it and re-looking at it and all that. But Texas and OU coming in, the OU schedule,
yeah,
it could be 8, 4, 7, and 5 for them.
Ooh, wow, and that would be that'd be rough.
I don't think they're ready to have that.
No, I don't think so. And I think it's going to be a little bit of a learning time for both Oklahoma and Texas next year when it comes to on the field. And also, Brett, we always talk about horns down. It's a penalty in the Big 12. It's not going to be a penalty in the SEC, and I think that's going to be
It better not be.
It better not be, at least. But I think that's going to be a wake-up call for them.
And one thing between now and certainly Destin late May, Memorial Weekend, they got to sort out tiebreakers in the SEC.
Oh, man, you're right about that.
There's not any right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, like I said, it just feels like there's always something happening with SEC football, and then you pile on basketball and baseball on top of that. I mean, it feels like never time to relax, and that's why so many people love the SEC, because there's always something going on. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Hi, it's The Herd. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, 90 seconds. Use the code HERD, H-E-R-D. New customers get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Code is HERD. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer issued is one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my My big number today is 7. Last night, I know a lot of people, or at least I was kind of locked in on college basketball. A lot of really good games last night. But in the NBA, we had a pretty good slate. 7 NBA games last night. The margin of victories for those 7 games, 2, 3, 6, 6, 6, 7. So all extremely tight games for those 7.
And the Pistons won.
That's right.
They did.
Sure
they did
over the Nets. Out of the 4,528 days in NBA history with at least 7 games, this is only the second to have every game decided by 7 points or fewer. It also happened on December 18th, 1976.
What a number.
That is great stuff.
What a number.
Almost
man.
speechless.
Thank you. I mean, it's a good number. I like that one a lot. I would say it's one of my better big numbers that I've brought to the table in a while.
Johnny, I got to step up and try to park one out of here.
Hey, man. Hey, he hit that up out of here, man.
He sure did. My big number is 658.
Whoa.
Oh,
that's the number of points for David Jones this year. Every game he's been in double digits. The lowest number of points scored, he scored 10 twice. At Missouri in that Friday night win way back in November, and the home game just a few games ago against Charlotte.
Yeah.
Big-time season for David Jones. The rest of the way, I think it should start at 25.
Yeah.
He's that's got to be opening bid.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been unbelievable, and I'm excited that we're about to talk to Jason Munns because kind of the big topic right now is what happens to him after this season is over. Penny yesterday during a press conference said that he likes their chances, thinks it's about 60-40 or even 70-30 in favor of him returning to the Tigers. I mean, if they can get him back, if they can bring him back, Nicholas Jourdain says at least at this moment, the plan is to come back. I think those are 2 really massive building blocks to build next year's team around.
Brian, yesterday when we were talking with Greg Gaston about left-handers and different angles, and I don't think I made the comparison of David Jones to Julius Randle, but I was talking about left-handed players, and I know the size difference. But in college, it was not that size difference it is now.
No.
I mean, I looked, and I just got killed on Twitter by someone, how could you compare him? I'm talking about in college, how they played, the different angles, the inside-outside game.
Sure.
David Jones, 6'6", 210. Julius Randle now is 6'6", 6'8", 250. He wasn't at Kentucky that 1 year.
No, he definitely wasn't. He's certainly gotten some size on him in the NBA.
No, he was 6'8" there.
Sure,
I know that.
Sure. But no, I mean, I think what he can do offensively has just been unbelievable. And I know earlier in the year there was a lot made about him defensively and kind of gambling a little too much. But I think he's been better defensively.
I do too.
Lately over these last.
There was a time I thought his defense was atrocious.
Yeah.
It's not that anymore.
No, it's gotten a lot
I
better.
think it's there when he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Now I don't want him giving up offensive end, to play a whole lot of belly button to belly button on the defensive end. Somebody. If I got to take one thing from him, you give me, starting with that opening bid, 25.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Well, and that's what, I forget what game it was. It was a couple weeks ago. It might have been North Texas on the road where he said, he wanted their leading scorer. He wanted to take him on, and Penny was like, no, you should, let's give that to somebody else. And, you saw his offensively kind of take a step back a little bit to that. But it's going to be a really fun game tomorrow. We need to get to a break, but before we do that, March is here. I mean, there's so many sports. We talk about all of the games that are going on. It's already started, but going into the weekend, into next week. And I know you might be looking for a spot to watch the game, maybe with some buddies or maybe just yourself. Well, you need to check out Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, right behind 117 Prime. Open from 4 to 11 Wednesday through Saturday and 4 to 8 on Sundays. Look, I know nobody likes a loud bar where you can't hear yourself think, but much less talk, but that's the opposite of Bell Tavern. Tavern. It's not even really a sports bar, but it's got plenty of televisions so you can keep up with all of the action. Start your night with a gourmet burger and one of their great cocktails in their dimly lit bar that you can enjoy a game at with your friends. It's not just the burgers either. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis and the coldest beer in the city. You know 117 Prime? Just walk through their dining room. You're at the best bar in town. For more information about our friends at Bell Tavern, give them a call, 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. We need to get to a break. Jason Munz is next.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Excellent, phenomenal, and awesome are just a few of the words that people have said online to describe their experience at 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. And they're all true. Everyone, and I mean everyone, who works at 117 Prime strives for one thing: excellence. No one at Prime settles for not putting in the maximum effort in making your dining experience something you won't just cherish, but one you'll tell your friends about. There are a lot of things maybe you should keep to yourself, but telling a friend about 117 Prime is the one thing you can feel really confident about.
Hi, it's The Herd. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, 90 seconds. Use the code HERD, H-E-R-D. New customers get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Code is HERD. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer issued as one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Spring is around the corner. That means the sounds of air conditioners cranking up will be in the air soon. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. This month only, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier AC unit. No gimmicks, just $1,000 off for the Choate's Early Bird Carrier AC Special. If your AC is in good shape, call us to get your $60 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC cleaned and ready for the warm seasons ahead. Choate's is here for all your cooling, heating, plumbing, air duct cleaning, and commercial needs. Call us today at 347-8086 to take advantage of these early bird specials. Or to schedule online, visit ChoatesHVAC.com. So turn to the experts with Choates. And remember, let our family serve your family.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Get your tickets and get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 p.m. for Women's Night presented by Nike. Arrive early. The first 5,000 fans in attendance will receive a clear Grizzlies crossbody bag. Get your tickets at Grizzlies.com. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawald Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawald is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. That traffic's building once again over here on 40 East from Sycamore View Road all the way out into Fayette County. It's crowded, no surprise, really, for a Friday on 240 East. Some of that traffic getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. Some of it also continuing on 240 up past Walnut Grove. It's building again in that construction zone. It's been on and off today on 55 northbound. They're up by Crump. 55 on the bridge. Don't forget, it's going to be closed this Sunday. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios. I know we're going to be talking to Jason Munns, but Brett, as always, he's presented by Jim's Place Grill in Carterville.
He is, and we look forward to it as we do every Friday afternoon. Jason Munns joins us momentarily after the win of the year last Sunday and the game of the year tomorrow at Jim's Place Grill. Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of celebrations, family time, and lasting great memories. The Terrace family with their touch for our community, recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the E in grill, and it's where every steak is grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark. Hard work, values, and a dedication to their diners. The Terrace family, they've created a memorable dining experience. Lunch menu, the staples like the souffle ma, the shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, and those salad dressings, all homemade. And at dinner, the calamari, the soups, the seafood, and the steaks. It's made Jim's famous. The fillets, the ribeyes, and the strips. Great bar area to enjoy all the basketball and all of March Madness in. All at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville.
I guess it was 3.
Jason Munns joins us now. He's on the road with the Tigers in Boca. I said it was the win of the year Sunday and the game of the year tomorrow. It feels like it this week, hasn't it, Jason?
That is about the best way to couch the whole thing. I mean, and if you listen to Penny Hardaway and a lot of people, there was the best half in Memphis basketball history last Sunday. Best,
it was.
You say best win of the year, best game of the year tomorrow, best half ever last Sunday, and it was.
You'll never forget covering it, Jason.
Hard to argue.
That it's going to be one of those things where people, I think, Memphis fans, a lot of Memphis fans, are going to remember where they were when it happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be one of those I was there games. It's going to be one of those things where people are going to be very proud to say that they were in the building when that happened, because to go from a 22-point deficit to a 3-point lead in roughly 5 minutes of game time, 5.5-ish, is I mean, you know, we've all been doing this. We've all watched a lot of college basketball. And that is just something that you don't see hardly ever. I mean, they said they gave the stat during the game. It's only the second time since 2010, in the last decade and a half, only the second time a team has trailed by as many as 20 in one game and won by at least 15 points in the same game. And I would bet you that the other time it happened, the momentum swing wasn't as rapid and abrupt as the one in inside FedEx Forum the other day. It kind of took your breath away if you were there.
Yeah, no, it was incredible, and I saw you at the game on Sunday, and I was with one of my buddies, and he looks over to me at halftime and jokingly says, all right, man, let's go ahead and beat traffic. I mean, let's get out of here. This game's over. And very quickly in the second half, he looked back and said, "What is happening? What am I watching right now?" Because it was just so fast. The team's obviously been playing with a lot more confidence over these last couple of weeks. It really seems like, I know we talked about it last week, that maybe that loss, that kind of embarrassing loss on the road to SMU, might have gotten through to them that they needed to change some things. What have you been seeing that has changed since those 2 losses in Texas?
A more aggressive Naquan Tomlin, for one.
Yeah.
A much more sort of under control Javon Quinterly, for 2. And well, I could say that both about Javon Quinterly and David Jones both. David Jones is he's clamped down on those turnovers. I mean, there was I think it was the first UAB game in Birmingham. He committed 9 turnovers by himself.
Yeah.
I would have to go and look, but I bet you in this 4-game winning streak, he doesn't have 9 in the whole. In all 4 games combined, these last 4 that they've won. So, he's playing better. Javon Quinterly's playing better. Obviously, Naquan Tomlin has become this force of nature, where he's putting up 21 on FAU and he's putting up 28 on UAB and he's rebounding. He's playing this great defense. I asked him after the East Carolina game, last week up in North Carolina, I was like, you've really kind of turned a corner on defense. And he goes, yeah, well, my ankle feels a lot better. And that was something that wasn't exactly talked about very much. When he got here, he was not 100%. He wasn't even really close. The bar fight that he was in that ultimately led to his dismissal, he injured his ankle. And so, he had to get healthy, and once he got healthy and once his mind got right and everybody got used to each other, they've turned into this 3-headed monster. And on top of that, you're seeing guys like Jaquan Walton and Nicholas Jourdain really excelling in their lane. I would love for Jaquan Walton to stop shooting so much. He was 1 for 9 the other day against UAB, but it's you take that if he also gives you 13 rebounds, which he did. I don't know that he's ever done that in his career. I think that's a career high. Nicholas Jourdain is doing all sorts of dirty work. He's getting on the floor. He's being that glue guy. He's telling people he's coming back next year, making people feel good. And then, you get a little bit of Jaden Hardaway sprinkled in and some Jalen Young and Jordan Brown. And it's like everybody's staying in their lane now. And they've gotten used to each other and they're clicking.
Yeah.
Tigers win tomorrow. They don't have to go all the way through to Sunday and win in Fort Worth, do they?
No, I don't think so. I think they can get away with not. I don't think they have to get I don't think they have to repeat as conference tournament champions to get in if they win tomorrow. That's a big if because, it's a long way from home and it's, it's a gym that I don't think I should have looked this up before now, but I would be surprised if anybody on this current Memphis team has played in that gym before, in the cozy confines of what they call the Ellie. It's like 2,900 capacity. They'll squeeze 3,000 in there, though. Boy, I'll bet you any money they'll squeeze 3,000, 3,100 in there tomorrow.
Makes Tulane look like the United Center.
I know. It's like Tulane is always the one that's been on the schedule that's like, man, you're in a real bandbox, but this here is going to make you feel like you're playing in a matchbox. But yeah, I think that if they win tomorrow, I still think they can't go one and done, and they may not be able to go 2 and done at the conference tournament. I think to feel safe going into Selection Sunday, they need to get to Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. For tomorrow's game, I mean, we remember the game a couple weeks ago against Florida Atlantic here, and the Tigers were just so aggressive. I talked about it earlier. I mean, what Nicholas Jourdain was doing in that game, yeah, I know he only had 3 points and didn't shoot the ball very well, but grabbing offensive rebounds, getting down on the court, diving for loose balls, blocking shots. They played with a real intensity, and they're going to have to match the intensity of that Florida Atlantic team and their fans, especially the students in kind of that really small gym. What do you expect to see in this game tomorrow?
A lot of energy.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get a ton of it from both sides. Obviously FAU they want revenge, so they've kind of got that going for them. If you think about it in those terms, like that's a check mark in their column. They've got that added motivation, but at the same time, maybe Memphis's motivation to get on the right side of the bubble counters FAU's desire to avenge the loss just 2 weeks ago. So, I think both teams are going to come out very, very fiery, and I don't know. It's
heavyweight match.
It is, man. Like it's two veteran
it's the season.
teams. It's two veteran teams, both built very differently, but both still very similar type teams, type profile, type resume, type play style. Like it's all very, they're both very, very similar. And so I know FAU is favored by 6.5. The opening line is 6.5 for FAU, which, yes, I think considering that Memphis beat this team just 2 weeks ago, that's a bit generous. But yeah, I'm looking for another extremely competitive, fiery game.
That's news to us. We'll have to get to that at 5:30, Bryant, with Tiger Bankroll. Jason Munns, thank you for giving us the gaming news. We hadn't found that yet. We thought it might be a tomorrow or later tonight thing. Jason Munns with us, presented by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Been with us all year. And, Jason, you know it. You've covered a lot of basketball. This is the time of year you keep winning, and it just feels it's so much fun. But this can be the cruelest time of year. I don't think this is the case, but there's a chance. The Memphis Tigers have 2 more games this year.
Very good chance. Well, not a very good chance, but yes, a chance.
A chance.
It's realistic. It is a realistic chance.
It ends so cruelly, the tears flow. You don't see it coming, and it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and that is the hard part about sports in general. But no, you're absolutely right. If Memphis loses tomorrow morning, or I guess early afternoon it'll be, then yeah, if they don't go to Fort Worth with their heads on straight, it could be over just like that in just a matter of days, and that would just be a crying shame, because what this team has accomplished, they owe it to themselves to keep going. You know what I mean? Like doing what they did earlier this season, beating Texas A&M on the road.
They're one of the best 68 teams in the country,
without a doubt. I don't know that it's going to be viewed that way by everybody. I mean, it could. I'm not going to say it couldn't. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe Tulane beats the snot out of Wichita State tonight, and it bumps them up 6 or 7 spots in the net, and it takes away one of Memphis's only currently quad 3 loss on its resume, and that way it leaves them with just the quad 4 loss, and that sort of elevates their profile in the eyes of the committee. They've only got the one quad 4 loss, no quad 3s. Maybe some things fall their way. Maybe the bubble. Maybe there aren't that many bid thieves in conference tournaments.
Don't need Drake winning the Valley.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't need anybody but Dayton winning the A10. That's another one. So, it would just be a shame if given everything that Memphis has done up to this point, it goes unrewarded. I
even tried the suicide mission earlier today of making a case that they could lose tomorrow and win 3 in Fort Worth and maybe still get in, but they're going to need a lot of lose-lose. They're going to need teams to lose last regular season game this weekend, like Utah did last night, needed them to lose again, and then lose in the first round of PAC. Iowa lose this weekend, lose first round of Big. James Madison, same thing. Then I get down to A&M in Virginia, and I don't need quad. I don't need net. I know what happened on the floor. I know that's not the only thing, but when A&M has 13 losses and you beat them, Memphis should be in over them.
Yeah, I agree. I even said that something along those lines to somebody yesterday that, let's say Memphis does lose tomorrow. There's still so much up in the air in terms as far as like the AAC tournament seeding goes. I don't know if it would be possible, if Memphis loses tomorrow, if they could see FAU before the championship game in Fort Worth. But if they do and they beat FAU, say in the semifinals or something like that, I don't know. I could see 3 more wins on the resume plus a neutral court win over FAU. I could see that being enough if the chips fall right. But I did want to mention there are 3 ways. We're talking about the AAC tournament in Fort Worth. The coveted double bye is kind of on the line tomorrow. There are 3 scenarios where Memphis can get the double bye. They all involve, first and foremost, Memphis winning tomorrow. Memphis has to win tomorrow. But I was going to throw out these scenarios for you. There's 3 scenarios where they can get the double bye.
Mm-hmm.
If they win, if East Carolina beats Charlotte and SMU beats UAB, Memphis gets the double bye. If Memphis wins, if East Carolina beats Charlotte and SMU beats or UAB wins over SMU, Memphis wins that tiebreaker. And then the third way is if Memphis wins, Charlotte beats East Carolina, and SMU beats UAB, then Memphis wins that tiebreaker. So it's a little confusing. It was hurting my head earlier today, but there's 3 ways that there's 3 different tiebreakers that if it falls those ways, Memphis would get it. Now there are some tiebreakers where Memphis wouldn't get it, but those are the 3.
But Jason, none of those 3 scenarios, you're not talking lining up the Powerball numbers here. All that can happen.
Sure.
It can. It absolutely can. East Carolina probably should have beaten SMU on its home floor a few days ago, and now they're hosting Charlotte, which, Charlotte's been pretty good, but they're not above getting beaten by East Carolina, I don't think, on the road. And to me, SMU and UAB in Birmingham is a coin flip. Mm-hmm. So the biggie, though, as we've been discussing for a few minutes now, is Memphis has to beat FAU, and that's tomorrow here in Pocono.
Yeah, no, that's first order of business for sure. But you're right. I mean, Charlotte, it was losers of 3 of their last 4 games. So, I mean, they've been kind of struggling lately. I could definitely see East Carolina at home getting a win there. Talking to Penny Hardaway yesterday, he was asked about David Jones and the likelihood, chances of him returning for a final season at Memphis. He said that right now he feels it's about 60-40, 70-30 of him returning to Memphis. What do you think the chances are of David Jones returning for another year at Memphis?
Yeah, so we were getting toward the end of the availability, and I asked Penny about Nicholas Jourdain. I was like, he announced, he sort of quasi-announced that he was coming back the other day. Had he told you that before he made that revelation? And he said, no, he hadn't, but it doesn't surprise him. Like, he's very happy to hear it, and it didn't surprise him. He felt like Nick has gotten a lot more comfortable as the season has gone on, and so on and so forth. And so I hadn't even planned to ask about David Jones, and I don't know if anybody else was either, but it just sort of like hit me as he was talking about Nicholas Jourdain. I was like, well, I'm going to ask about David. And so I did. I said, on March 7th, what would you, Penny Hardaway, what odds would you give yourself of being able to convince David Jones to come back to Memphis for another season, and he sort of reacted. He smiled and put his head down a little bit, and he goes like he paused, and it was sort of an awkward pause, and I was going to interject and try to make it less awkward, and he interrupted me, and he goes 60-40, 70-30 us. And I was like, wow, I said, so you're going to try this. You're going to go for it. And he goes, absolutely. And he goes, now David's more than likely going to go test the waters and get feedback and go through the process. And that's what he said. He said he absolutely should. And if he goes out there and hears what he wants to hear, if somebody tells him what he wants to hear, then by all means, go for it. But he said, if he doesn't, I mean, I'm paraphrasing now at this point, but he said, if he doesn't, I'm going at him full bore. And, when that happens, usually Penny Hardaway gets what he wants. Yeah. So,
and I know Coach Hardaway feels the same. Is this great John Calipari line way back when he would say about a player staying or whatever, and he would say, for my bank account, he should stay. For his bank account, he should go.
Right. And it's going to be I think it's going to be something that plays out over the course of several months. It may be August before we ever know anything definitively, because as we sit here today, David Jones is not on any mock drafts that I can find. Now, that doesn't always necessarily mean anything. He might go out and get in front of the right people, and they may make him a promise, or give him some sort of assurance, and he likes what he hears. And I mean, that's what happened with Lester Quinones. So we'll see. I mean, obviously we'll have to follow this story all summer, but to hear Penny Hardaway say it out loud in front of a room full of reporters, cameras.
Jason, you know when all of that story is going to break is when you're helping out with everybody out at the FESJC, and that's the week it's all going to break for David Jones news and maybe another transfer and a recruit. That's when it all hits you.
That's the way it goes. That's exactly the way it goes. I've learned to live with it. I may be down in the Gulf Shores on my annual vacation down to
air quotes here, vacation.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, actual quotes there. No air to it. Actual quotes to it. Jason, what do you think the temperament, the comportment, where the relaxation? Where's Coach Hardaway right now?
Well,
tight, happy, at ease. What?
So I would not say tight, but I would also not say at ease. I think he's probably in a good happy medium. I know where the players are, unprompted yesterday when Naquan Tomlin sat down with us reporters. Somebody kind of just asked him how he was feeling. He volunteered this information. He goes, if you'd have been in practice, you would know what I'm talking about when I say that the vibes and the energy are off the chart. They were off the charts in practice yesterday. And he had this huge radiant smile when he said it. And it just like, I don't know. It's a 180. It's a complete 180 from the way things were
in Texas,
inside Moody Coliseum.
Man.
After they lost to SMU. We talked to David Jones and Penny in the hallway outside the locker room, and it was night and day from the tune that they're playing.
You were scared people were going to quit.
Yeah.
I mean, leave the team,
or be asked to leave the team. That was on the table too. At least in my mind, it was. Or I wasn't discounting that possibility, shall we say?
Next Friday, Jason, we know it could be almost any. The Tigers could play at literally almost any time. I don't think they could play in the noon game, but they could play at 2:00 next Friday in Fort Worth. They could play at 6. They could play at 8. We will catch up. We may have to catch up with you in the afternoon and record with you to run at 5, but. And we may not be able to catch up with you. You may be too busy with your real job, but tomorrow's going to be great. Next week will be wild, and we appreciate you, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal. He joins us every single Friday to talk Tiger basketball with the big one tomorrow. And now we know, Brett, what that line is set for tomorrow's game, 6.5. We'll have to do some picking.
You know what I told you earlier today, I was the good kind of nervous.
Uh-huh.
At 6.5, I don't know if I'm the good kind anymore.
Woo!
And we're just playing for funsies.
I did not expect the line to open up.
Except for Johnny. Johnny's going for the kill with everybody.
You know, Johnny.
Go big or go home, Brett.
Know it, Johnny.
Brett, I think Johnny has been a poor sport. You know, ever since he came on with us, he's been beating us in all of these.
Like a drum.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I think maybe we need to get our heads together.
He said
and,
we need to get our heads together.
Maybe kick Johnny out. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He ejected, but
he tried to eject me, Brett.
Let's try to beat him first.
He can still hang around, but good Lord, I mean, he is just taking it to us and has an opportunity to extend it.
Pressure's on in the next segment, man.
Pressure is on.
And we're going to use 6.5 as the number.
We are. We're going to use 6.5. But before we get to that next segment and this break, I told you earlier about Bell Tavern. I said it's right there behind 117 Prime, the perfect spot for a night out with the weekend. It's here now. It's 5:30. The weekend is here. Make sure you get out to 117 Prime, located 117 Union Avenue. It's open 4 p.m. daily. They offer perfect steaks cooked to your liking over hickory wood for the best flavor in town. And their meat, it's regionally sourced for the best taste. So you don't have to worry about it traveling cross country like at some of these other steakhouses. Pair your beautifully cooked wine with one of their award-winning wines from the wine menu, or switch it up with their wine of the month. Not a fan of beef? No problem. 117 Prime also offers outstanding seafood like oyster, shrimp, and lobster. Also, get down there right now to enjoy their happy hour from 4 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday, for the best happy hour that downtown Memphis has to offer. To make reservations, head to their website, 117prime.com, or give them a call, 901-433-9851. That's 901-433-9851 for our friends over at 117 Prime. Well, let's get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending. We'll also get to our Tiger Bankroll picks. That's next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. Five Ash Roofing, the name to know. Five Ash Roofing, the only way to go. Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Five Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
You watch sports. You listen to sports. Now let's talk sports. Are you a huge sports fan with always something to say but only a few listeners? Well, not anymore, because Sports 56 is opening the airwaves overnight. From 12 midnight till 6 a.m. for people like you to talk sports during your own 1-hour radio talk show on Sports After Dark. That means for 1 hour, you can tell us what's really on your mind regarding sports. Your favorite sports team, your favorite player, discuss pre-games, post-games, all games. Let's talk. Orientation is required. Interested applicants must contact the podcast center at gmail.com or call 901-468-3097. That's the podcast center at gmail.com or 901-468-3097. Amateur and professional talk show hosts encouraged to apply.
Required orientation is Saturday, March 9th, or you can take it online.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It remains pretty heavy out here in a couple of spots, like trying to get out of Midtown on 240 South, coming past South Parkway 55, and that construction going northbound. It's been slow on and off today there between McLemore and South Parkway. Still moving right now down through South Haven as it builds pretty good on 55 South all the way down into DeSoto County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Going back into Sports Time, less than 30 minutes left in today's show, and we just learned in our last segment, talking to Jason Munns, the line has been set for the marquee game in the American for tomorrow morning. 11 a.m., Memphis, FAU a 6.5 point favorite right now. I didn't expect it to be that big, but here we are.
Is that the big? I'm looking to see. No, it's not. Texas A&M was 7.5 point favorites over the Tigers back on December 10th. I think that's the biggest point spread of the year. I'm trying to find Villanova. Nova was 3.5. That would do it. That's the second biggest. So A&M, and we know what happened in that game. This year in Tiger Bankroll, Johnny Hill is 18-12. He is up 13-25. I am 15-15. I'm up 12-25. There was a point in the year I was up almost 900 over almost 800 over Johnny. Wow. What a comeback by him and some bad picking by me. Bryant, you were 13-17 on the year. Had a good win last Sunday to get you to 850 for the year. This will be the last regular season game, but we've got to watch our money because we don't know if it's one more after this or 9 more.
Yeah, no, it's this the time of the year. I remember trying to play this game last year of, all right, how much do you put out there? Because, I mean, like you said, Brett, it's a realistic possibility Tigers play 2 more games and the season's done. There's also a realistic possibility that we don't know how many more games they're going to play, and they could play 6, 7, 8 more games.
We don't know how many next weekend.
No, we really don't. So it's a big one, and you're right. Money management has to be important for this one.
Do we have to reserve cash for an NIT game?
Brett, I think you need to keep that in mind.
You probably need to do it.
I think you need to keep it in
mind. Down to $10. Got to play $10.
Got to do something. It's got to be.
All right, we decided during the break, the last show go first. The good book says that. I don't know if it says it about betting on sports, but it says it about some other,
I like the quote, Brett.
Other things.
Yep.
So, Brian, you get to go first again. Your total is $850.
$850. I'm standing up for this one.
Yeah.
Give me the Tigers. $500.
$500. Oh my! So this is how you coming?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go, Tigers. All right. GTG.
Needless to say, if you win, you'll be up $1,350.
Woo!
If the Tigers lose, you'll have a scant $350.
Well, let's go Tigers. I mean, I am the biggest Tiger fan right now. I mean,
that's stand up and sell it.
I mean, wow. How about that?
All right, well, that sends it to me then. I have not picked the Tigers since the home Tulane game when they were 6.5-point favorite.
And you said you were going to pick them again, Brett.
I said that off there.
I
said that off there.
Sorry, Brett.
That's okay. The Tigers won that night 90-78.
Put it on the record now because I want to see where you go. I'm putting pressure on you, Brett.
I got the win. That got me to 14.35 for the year. Now I'm at a lowly 12.25. Give me the Memphis Tigers.
Oh my goodness!
Plus the 6.5 for $675.
Holy
okay,
right.
Okay.
We're playing this game.
Oh, we playing this game.
Johnny, what do you do?
Okay, give me the Tigers.
Okay.
For $700.
Fellas, I mean,
whoa. I can win and still not be in first. Johnny would stay ahead.
Lord.
Johnny would be well ahead. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Boy, we let fun and games turn us just into absolute savages.
Hey, man. Hey, Brett, we going big or going home, man?
Johnny, we quoted the good book. It's the root of all evil. We're not even playing for real money.
I guess so. I'm ashamed of us.
I blame Brian. He trying to put all the pressure.
Lord. Putting all our money on one game. I'm airing out Brett's dirty laundry. I mean, good Lord.
No, that's I didn't have a good feeling about the Tigers. Of course, after the Texas trip, who did? I mean,
come on.
Who could have?
Brett, I was right there with you. I wasn't going to bet the Tigers anymore, but
we're going big or going home. I'm fired up about this, man.
After that SMU game, I was up 1,500. I went 40 on Charlotte, L, 60 on FAU, L, 150 on ECU, L, 25 on UAB, and all that occurred. I'm glad I lost.
Wow. Brett, do you? I hate to ask this. This is, the poorest time to ask this question. Do you have our group lock numbers in front of you for?
Oh my goodness!
I do. For the year, we are 4-5 when there's unanimity. When it's a group lock, the first one of the year, we all agreed on Michigan to get to 1-0 back in the Bahamas. The next group lock was we all took Memphis laying the 2.5, lost by half against Clemson to get to 1-1. We fell to 1-2. We're all taking the Tigers against Vandy, laying 18.5. The Tigers win by 2. The very next game, group lock, everybody took the Tigers lower wagers, but we all lost again, laying 20.5 against Austin Peay. The Tigers only won by 11. That dropped us to 1-3. The very next game, still group lock. 1-4 we fell to when we all laid the 9.5. The Tigers only survived at Tulsa by 3. The very next game, another group lock. SMU at FedEx Forum. We got there. Tigers won. They were laying 7.5. They won by 3, so we got there. That got us to 2-4. Then Wichita State, we all had Wichita State up there. Tigers won at home. It was at home, and the Tigers only won by 2 after winning big in Wichita. That got us to 3-4.
Wow.
We all had Wichita State. And then we all had SMU in that Texas trip. That got us to 4-4. And then we all had FAU the last time these two teams meet. So we went all FAU and lost.
How about
now
that?
we're going all Memphis tomorrow.
Yikes. I don't like how that storyline writes itself. But
maybe for a Tiger bankroll record,
honestly,
1,875 wagered on one game.
Crazy. Look at us. Setting records for Tiger
Turned us
bankroll.
into absolute jackals, didn't
just
it?
monsters. I am watching maybe
gaming.
Honestly, it's what it is. I think I just watched
Play
one
gaming.
of the most insane things in a conference basketball tournament game that I've seen in a very long time, maybe ever. I'm watching Elon and Hampton in the CAA first round, and late in the game, very back and forth game. Hampton's up big, and then Elon comes back, makes a close game. I believe they take the lead. Hampton calls a timeout. While the team is coming out of the timeout, 2 players on Hampton, same team, teammates, start jawing at one another. They have to separate them. We get back on the court. One of the players that was involved in the jawing goes out and knocks down the go-ahead bucket. Elon calls a timeout, and that player goes straight to his team's huddle and starts jawing more with his teammate. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Men, accept your win.
I mean, you just went up, and you're
What do you think it's like behind closed doors right now in victory?
Oh, good Lord. I mean, hopefully now that the final's over, maybe they can put it behind them and say, all right, we won the game. We're just competitive and whatever. But I mean, that was crazy. I could not take my eyes off it. I didn't know what I was watching there for a second.
Almost had that last year in Columbus with the Tigers.
Well, that's a good point. I kind of started getting flashbacks of that one. Yikes.
It really did. The weekend is upon us. Going to have a lot of fun and all the great locations for Jason's Deli for you to go out and eat. Whether you're dining in, to go, or delivery, wholesome food forever. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli. And there's a location, I guarantee you, in our listening area somewhere very close to you right now in Cordova, Olive Branch, at Ridgeway Road, over across from MUS and by the U of M at Poplar in Highland. Healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. It's all about choice at Jason's Deli. Whether you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you will be delighted at Jason's Deli with all those great locations and all that great food, plenty of organic food to choose from, and the salads on the menu, the Big Chef salad, the taco salad, the chicken club salad, and that salad bar in every location right there in the middle of the restaurant. Over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you'd like it. For catering, anytime, anywhere, 5 or 5,000, they have you covered. And with all the events coming up, start your event at Jason's Deli. Complimentary free ice cream at all the locations like Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spring is in the air, and so are the savings at Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Hi, this is Lauren Choate. As we welcome clearer skies and brighter days, it's the perfect time to clear up something else, your home's air quality. Right now, for a limited time only, get a free dryer vent cleaning with every air duct cleaning service. Did you know that cleaning your air ducts can not only improve your home's air quality, but also increase your HVAC system's efficiency? Well, it's not just about efficiency. It's about safety and reducing the risk of dryer fires significantly. With Choate's expert technicians, you can rest assured that your air ducts and dryer vent will be cleaned thoroughly, leaving your home safer in your air pressure. All it takes to breathe easier and save, just one call to Choate's. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Schedule your air duct cleaning service today. Give us a call at 347-8086 or visit us online, choateshvac.com. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Get your tickets and get loud for your Memphis Grizzlies when they face off against the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 p.m. for Women's Night presented by Nike. Arrive early. The first 5,000 fans in attendance will receive a clear Grizzlies crossbody bag. Get your tickets at Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good,
they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, Front Office Sports reported about an hour ago, I'll just read the tweet, breaking, a first-of-its-kind tournament featuring NIL deals as payouts is coming to college basketball next season. The 8-team invitational in Vegas will guarantee $1 million to be split among players on each team, with an additional $1 million to the winning team. And then Joseph Duarte, who covers the Houston Cougars, reported about 10 minutes ago, Houston is among schools in talks to play in the 8-team men's basketball event in Las Vegas this fall that would guarantee $1 million in NIL money split between players. So it looks like this not only is a very real thing, but it looks like schools are already lining up to try to be a part of this.
Yeah, and college football at bowl season, you're going to pay up. People are not going to want to go to bowls, regardless of the bowl, without you paying, and that will just start it with college basketball. What I learned, I just don't think there are too many bids that are really in play. I think we've really shrunk it down. There are a lot of the same profiles with just a few games left, whether to bolster or damage resume. Look, this is where we are. The season essentially has been played.
Yeah.
This is it. We're at the end. There's not room for improvement or hurting a resume at this point.
No, there's absolutely not. I mean, Brett, we talk about it all the time. You are who you are, and what got you earlier, what you won earlier.
Now, you got hope to win the AQ, but to get it at large, it's largely dice been cast.
No, you are absolutely right with that. And honestly, what I could have done without, Brett, is that line for tomorrow's game. I never thought it would be anything more than maybe you could sell me on 5. Certainly 4, but closer to kind of even.
I was going to take FAU at anything 3 or less.
Yeah, but I mean.
Tigers 3 or more. 6.5 jumped in.
Oh, my gosh. 6.5 is just an incredible number. I can't believe it's that. Now, I understand.
Maybe Vegas knew everybody was going to do that.
Maybe. But
what do they know we don't know?
Well, that's a good point. They know a lot. And you look at what the Tigers did in that first half against UAB. If they come out like that, yeah, we're all going to look very silly on Monday when we come in and talk about all the money that we put on Tiger Bankroll. But if they play like they've been playing really since the end of that SMU game, I think it's going to be a really, really close game tomorrow in Boca.
I could have done without this morning, and I like this show, and I like the cast of characters on it, but on First Take this morning, you would hardly know the NCAA tournament and March Madness is upon us, being played. The whole thing, there was brief interludes to go to some NFL draft talk, and kind of what the Cowboys are doing.
Of course.
But it was mostly who's really got a better shot, Lakers or Warriors, whose ankle's more injured, Steph or LeBron. We go through these ratings numbers all the time. There's no way in the next NBA contract they get this kind of carriage.
No, I don't think so. Where are you beaming tonight or this weekend? A busy weekend.
Boca for the Tigers, 2-1 all time against their newest rival. I don't want to be rivals with FAU. When Dusty May leaves FAU, they become UTSA. FAU lost at home earlier this year to Bryant. So let's not make this Pauley Pavilion under John Wooden down at FAU.
No. Let's definitely not do that. How about being me at the FedEx Forum tonight? Grizzlies and Hawks tonight. The Grizzlies coming off back-to-back wins on the road. We talked about it earlier. I mean, it's a weird position because you want them to win at home to kind of try to give the fans a thank you, the ones that are still going to games, and really what has been a really, really rough season. But also, you don't want them to win too much because you want them to be towards the top of the draft boards. So it's going to be interesting tonight. That game tips off at 7 o'clock.
There will be bids doled out this weekend. Nets cut down, trophies handed out, but there will also be dreams squashed this weekend. Seeding for next week and for the NCAA tournament, a lot of it will be set in stone this weekend. You mentioned Grizzlies at home tonight against Atlanta, and on Sunday night, they're in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, A-Sun's going to crown a champion on Sunday. All I got to say is let's go P, Austin P,
you can
in their
say
championship
that, yeah.
game. You're right. By the time we come Monday, we're going to know at least a couple of teams that will be playing in March Madness.
Tickets punched.
Tickets punched. I love. Oh, and then you get the graphics on social media of the tickets punched.
And like the remaining slots to be filled.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's that time of the year. extremely busy weekend, certainly with college basketball, also the NBA, a lot of really good games this weekend. So enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kind of an early one for the Tigers tomorrow, the first game of the day at 11 o'clock on CBS. But that will do it for us for the week. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday.